From Austria that had been leading the way, we reached the halfway point here, the golden night of the Berlin 6-day. The big golden night, the Saturday night, it's a massive crowd that have come in. It certainly is a big party atmosphere in Berlin. It's the middle of winter, it's cold outside, but it's very toasty inside the velodrome, and the racing really is starting to heat up. Welcome to Berlin. Certainly a big night as we reach the halfway point here at the Berlin 6-day. I'm joined by Marino de Pauw, who's one of the big teams, as we call them here. There are 4 teams that have really been fighting for these podium positions. And Marino, team number 3, riding with Wim Strottinger, so Belgian rider riding with the Dutchman. You know, you can speak the same language. You're both very experienced riders. How's it been going for you?
It's going really good. I really enjoy riding with Wim. I know him very well. I think we can say we are good friends. I raced against him a lot, and now it's a pleasure racing with him. I think we know how to ride a 6-day. We're both experienced, and that makes it really nice and easy for us. We don't have to talk a lot during the race, and that's real fun.
Now, but importantly though, you were going to retire, or you did retire after the Ghent 6-day on home soil, of course the classic one to finish with. Then you got the phone call asking you to come across to Berlin, so you've prolonged your retirement to come here to finish off in a flurry of activity. So a little bit of extra time in your career, but this is going to be the last one. It must be quite special.
Yeah, indeed. Berlin is my very last one. I did Ghent. That was my last race in Belgium, so that was nice to get my goodbye there. Then I got the opportunity to start in Rotterdam and Bremen as well, and now in Berlin. So I'm doing like a big goodbye tour, which makes it really nice for me to get the love of the public everywhere, to feel the love of the riders as well. And I'm enjoying my last winter.
Now, I've been told that the next career step is to be a policeman. So how far have you gone down that track? Have you already done some tests, or you're on the way and it's going to happen?
I will try. So I did a few tests already, and then we still have to do school. So see how that goes. I do it step by step, and I see what the future brings. I want to do the things I love to do, enjoy what I do, enjoy my family, time with the family, spending time with my daughter and wife. And then we see what the future brings.
Well, you have had a very prestigious and long 6-day cycling career. What have been the big changes? What have you noticed within the 6-day series from when you first started to now as you go into retirement?
It got better every year in many ways. I think it's good. We have a lot of riders from everywhere. We now also have Aussies and Polish riders, Russian guys. Before we didn't have all of that. I think the public loves it, still loves it. I think they love seeing racing us. 6-day is a special thing. It's you can't compare it with any other race. It's high-level racing, but you also have fun. You like the interaction with the public, good music. The public can have a lot of beer, and you can't compare it with anything else.
Certainly it's a great atmosphere here in Berlin as we are on the 3rd night of competition. So it is the most popular night, the big crowds that have come in for the halfway point. You're part of, there are 4 teams that are really seem to be fond of fighting for that final podium. How do you feel it sits between the 4 teams? Is there one sort of standout that you can feel on the track that seems to be stronger, or do you feel that you and Wim are the strongest team on the track?
It's difficult to say. During a 6-day you always have a bad day as well. So maybe today one of us has a bad day or the other teams has a bad day. Then it's up to us to try to make the difference or not to lose a lap on the other field. Like you say, we're 4 teams with a gap on the other teams. So we start to look after each other as well. We don't want the other teams taking a lap on you. They want us. They don't want us to take a lap. So it will be a big battle until the last medicine.
Yeah. Well, look, good luck for this 3rd night of competition and for the next 3 nights. Hopefully you might be able to come away with a victory in your retirement race. So good luck for the rest of the racing tonight. And I know that Matt Rendell, he's caught up with one of our other cycling stars.
Yeah, one of the big stars here, Kirsten Wild. Kirsten, it looks to have been a pretty hard couple of nights for you so far, but I think there are all sorts of mental games going on here. You've got the World Championships coming up, the Olympics. It's a massive season for all of you big track stars, and you're wearing that World Champions jersey too. How's it been so far for you?
Well, it's amazing here with the crowd and all the people. It's a super good atmosphere. But the ride, it's quite hard. I had a big endurance block before, so it's quite a shock for the body to race like this again. But so far, it's okay.
And Katie Archibald is kind of the same thing, I guess. You never know where other people are in their kind of cycle of blocks of loading and then recovery and so on. So she's been making life very hard for you. But how do you cope with that mentally, even knowing that, you know, this isn't the big prize?
Well, Katie is a super athlete. She's really strong at the moment, especially. I don't know her program and her plans, so I don't want to look too much to her form, but I want to look more to my own shape. But of course, it's a mental game. She's flying, and I don't want to make myself too nervous about it. But yeah, of course, it goes into your head. But yeah, I know we have a really good plan with my coaches, and I don't want to make it too big. But yeah, she's strong.
And here you are, the world Omnium champion, twice the world Madison champion, with Amy, who's here with you. So. As I say, you're wearing the World Championships, the World Champions bands, and that must be a great pride to be in this amazing structure where we are for these 6 days.
Yeah, it's really nice to race in a rainbow jersey. If you wear this and you walk around in this jersey, you feel how special it is, and it gives it a bit more. It gives just a good feeling, and I'm really proud to wear it. And yeah, I hope we can follow up, but of course, we enjoy every ride in the jersey.
And we've been talking about the track and big goals for the rest of the season. The road as well, does that figure in your plans?
I will do some road races for my team, WNT Rotor, but the main focus is on the track.
World Championships here in 4 weeks, so this time pretty precious for you to get familiar again with this track.
Yeah, that's also a good point. You can get a bit familiar with the track and its characteristics. So yeah, that's a good point of racing this race. But the most important goal is in August, the Olympics.
Kirsty, well, the best luck for that, and the best luck for the Madison a bit later on tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Super. Thank you.
Well, those rainbow stripes, they certainly look very comfortable around the waist of Kirsten Wild. Double world champion, the Omnium, and of course the Madison as well. This is the way they sit in the overall classification. Kirsten Wild and Amy Peters sit in second behind Eleanor Barker and Katie Archibald, with the 20-kilometre Madison still to come. It's going to be a hard-fought race between those two particular teams. Emily Nelson and Manon Lloyd, they'll be doing everything they can to try and hold down that third place. But the sisters from Poland, Daria and Victoria Pikulik, they seem to be very strong last night. So we'll see if they can get themselves up onto the overall podium. So the overall standings for the men, it's Morgan Koneski, the former Madison World Champ, with the current Madison World Champion, Theo Reinhardt, who is in incredible form right now, but not too far behind Wim Struttinger and Marino Tapau. It won't be long until they join them up on the lead lap once they get their extra bonus lap, once they hit the 200-point mark. Hester Wolf, Graf and Muller, they're the four teams that look to be fighting for that final podium positions. We'll see the sprinters come up for the sprint races very soon. Max Levy, he leads the way on 111 points, and it's Max Dornbach on 99. Thomas Barbeck, Anton Huner, they've been the top riders, and we'll see the first of the sprint races to come will be the last three on that list. 5th, 6th and 7th overall in a 3-up sprint match. That'll be the first one we see when they do come out for the sprint races very soon. So what's left to come tonight? We'll get to the halfway point by the end of it here at the 6 day. It is the final night, though, of course, for the 3-day competition for the ladies. The sprints will be the next thing on the track, followed by the men's team elimination. And women will wrap things up with their 20-kilometre Madison 3-day comp for them. Points race for the boys, also the second of the Derny heat. And then we go back down to the sprinters for all of the riders on the track at the one time for the Kirin final. We saw an upset on the first night. Let's see what happens here in front of the biggest crowd that we've had so far. 25 minutes Madison Chase for the elite endurance riders. That'll wrap things up here on Saturday night. The Golden Night, the Lederhosen Night in Berlin. So inside the track just before, there was a presentation for some of Germany's greatest ever sprinters. Jens Fiedler, Michael Hübner, two former world champions, and Fiedler himself, a former Olympic sprint champion. So they were presented to the crowd inside the venue. Such famous riders here in Germany. And the previous generation moving down to the next generation. Two of the young riders, Kain Singh on the left from Taiwan, and S.L. Albin on the right-hand side. Two teenagers amongst the sprint group. So Nguyen Singh, 12.8 seconds in the flying lap time trial, is the fastest of these three. He'll be up against S.L. Albin and Owen Mullen. That's the first race coming onto the track now. Hühner and Barbeck, then it's Levy and Dornbach. He's the 21-year-old from Taiwan, now based in Cottbus, just down the road here from Berlin. I was chatting to him before we got into competition tonight about Michael Hübner and Jens Fiedler. So great tutorage coming from those riders. S.L. Albin, junior world champion, and Owen Mullen, the Irish sprint star. Owen Mullen, 26, from Galway. He's the national sprint, time trial and Keirin champion. He's actually won 13 national championships for Ireland, being the dominant force in terms of sprinting. Three-up sprints, certainly a little bit different tactically. They tend to go a little bit longer, start the sprinting a bit earlier. It's easy to get caught out in the wrong position when there are three riders on the track compared to the usual two. The points available, we're racing for 5th, 6th and 8th points there, so 8, 6 and 4 to go for these riders. But it's still bragging rights to win the sprint itself. And Owen Mullen, we were just on board with him as he went round the outside, so you can see the camera just down in between the handlebars. Nguyen Singh in second place. He's the fastest of these three riders. Albin now in third position with a little bit of work to do. So Nguyen Singh down the back straight, he has been the fastest, but in the slipstream is S.L. Albin, the 18-year-old. So here comes the youngster from India over the top, and it is a surprise win from Albin, the youngest rider in the sprint competition, and a victory for him. So that gives him 5th place points, but regardless, there's first across the line here, and it did look as if it was going to go all the way of Nguyen Singh. But in the slipstream, S.L. Albin, and you can see the body language, real acceleration too. Powerful built youngster. Wheel stand across the line as well. He was wrapped with that performance. So certainly not the tallest of the riders, but he packs a punch. The second of the sprint matches now. It's Thomas Barbeck, 32-year-old from the Czech Republic, on the left-hand side. Trying to, once again, channel Superman, as we saw in the flying lap time trial, 12.799 seconds. So slightly faster than Anton Hühner, 19-year-old. Barbeck with the experience. Slightly faster in outright speed as well. But a young German on a German track with a big German crowd. You'll be inspired to get the better of Thomas Barbeck. Anton Hühner, number 3 on the inside, leads off. Anton Hühner looking back between his legs to see exactly where Thomas Barbeck is. Constantly keeping an eye on the rider in second position. Barbeck happy to go underneath now, forcing himself into the lead. I'll come around to get 2 laps to go. Barbeck leads from Hühner. Anton wants to go back into the first position. So Barbeck losing a little bit of concentration there. Went to the lead, now he finds himself back where he began. Starting to pick up the pace now. Acceleration from Anton Huner. High on the track, both of these riders. They get the bell as they come around this time. Anton Huner leads through. The youngster, the German star of the future, and the veteran from the Czech Republic in second position. He's into the slipstream. He's coming up to the back wheel of Huner, though. Thomas Barbeck up around the outside. He should be able to get it over the top from there. Well, he should be able to, but he didn't. Anton Huner holds on for the win. A shorter run on the inside. And just fought back on the inside there. Anton Huner with a big throw to the line. Nice lunge from both riders, but it was the longer arms of Huner, the youngster. The teenager gets the win over the top of Thomas Barbeck. Led down the back straight. It looked as if Barbeck had done just enough. He closed the gap down right. Up around the outside as they came into the final bends. And just that extra bit of fight, the extra desire that came from the German on a German track in front of a German crowd. And Anton Huner gets to the line ahead of Barbeck. So he wins this particular sprint match, but that's for the third place points, because first and second, that's going to be fought out between these two. Max versus Max. Max speed. Maximilian Levy. Super fast in the flying lap time trial. And Max Dornbach, German sprint champ, 24-year-old up against the 32-year-old, far more accomplished and more experienced Max Levy. But the German sprint champion, if he's won that the last 2 seasons, that is an indication that Dornbach knows how to race. Forget about the outright speed. In terms of tactics, Dornbach must be good at having them. Dornbach leads through. Max Levy in second position. Four World Championship titles under the belts of Max Levy. One of them was in the Kirin, the other 3 in the team sprint. He's been a medalist at the Olympic Games in Kirin and team sprint. Not the most accomplished or credentialed when it comes to these sorts of races, the sprints, the tactical battles. But he certainly has done enough of them over the years. And we saw them do this on the second night. Dornbach coming to a stop, trying to force Max Levy into the first position. They won't be allowed to do it for too long. We've got a TV schedule to stick to, boys. The crowd don't mind it, though. Putting on a bit of a show here, the 2 Maxes. Max versus Max. It's all about maximum speed. But for the moment, it's maximum skills on display. I think they can do this all night. And they will be given the hurry up pretty soon, I'm sure. Could be Max Levy looking for a little bit of extra recovery time after that flying lap time trial. And who cracks first? It's Dornbach. So the German sprint champ, Max Dornbach, leads off once more. And actually it loads up the muscles a little bit when you try and do the track stand, the balancing act. Does put the muscles under a little bit of extra pressure. Now they're up and going, very quickly up and going. They'll come around to get the bell. Dornbach leads them through. Forget about tactics now. It's going to be max speed from the two of the Maximilians. Dornbach leads them through. And down the back straight, Max Levy's coming. Levy around the outside. Max versus Max, and it's going to be Levy over the top of Dornbach, is it? Oh, I'm not too sure. It was incredibly close. It did look as if Levy had the faster speed. You can just tell both riders unsure of who got to the line first. Levy on the outside, I think it was. It was Levy. A time trial win and the sprint victory as well to Max Levy. How close was that? The German sprint champ almost held on for the win. So Dornbach just riding a little bit high there, putting Max Levy up the track. And then it was a drag race down the back straight. Shoulder to shoulder into the final bend. And a great fight back from Dornbach on the inside. You can see Levy just got the front wheel in front. Dornbach was able to fight back underneath. And Levy with the maximum points will extend his overall lead in the general sprint classification ahead of Max Dornbach. Anton Hunep, Thomas Barbeck, Albin, Yin Singh and Owen Mullen. And the dominant sprinter this year at the Berlin Six-Day, Max Levy. He's down on the inside of the track now with Matt Rendell.
Maxwell, that was a long, long track stand there. What damage does that do to the legs when you've still got a big sprint to come?
It's super hard after the 200s. When you go hard like this, only small break in between and then have a track stand. It's super tough.
And what's going through your mind on that final lap where the two of you are side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and you know it's going to come down to a millimetre?
Sure, but I was so tired. I couldn't go earlier. And so, yeah, I really had to make it with the last blast.
Fabulous stuff, Max. Max Dornbach is here as well. Max, congratulations. Look, it came down to a millimetre or so, but that was a long, long track stand. How did the legs feel after that?
Yeah, in the long track stand, my legs are burning. And then I make the speed on the front, and it was a very long sprint. Yeah, and in the end, my legs are tired and so on. It was very small and eng finish here.
I can see that you enjoy it as much as we do in the end. Okay, you lose it, but the feeling must be fabulous coming around that final corner, side by side, shoulder to shoulder with Max.
Yeah, it's so crazy here. The people are so loud and it's so much fun.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you, Max.
Thanks.
What a great sprint it was. And I did mention how it does load up the muscles when they do that track stand, and difficult to get back up to maximum speed after that. But it's Levy extending his overall lead in the general classification ahead of Dornbach. Barbeck on 99. Horne's coming at him 90, only 9 points behind in fourth place, ahead of Yin Singh, Albert and Mullen, as he has been for all three nights. And they're in seventh place. So the team elimination is the next race onto the track for the men. Where do they sit in the overall as we come into it? On the lead lap, all there on their own. Eski and Reinhardt, but I would almost guarantee Vince Trottinger and Moreno DePaul will pick up enough points to get themselves up and onto the lead lap as well. So Mark Hester and Oliver Wolf, Andreas Graf and Andreas Muller, they're the four teams we're going to be focusing on. They've got the most to gain or lose from one of the trickiest events that they get to race, the team elimination. And someone that's enjoying themselves. There we go. We're on KISS camera. We did hear from KISS during the sprint final then. And from the band KISS down to the real thing. So one more lap until we get underway with the team elimination for the elite men. Every 3 laps, the last team across the line will be eliminated. So it's the one race where we focus on the back of the group, not the front. So we're underway, team elimination. 15th of the 34 races that the elite men have to race over the 6 nights of competition. And it's Josh Harrison that we'll be focusing on in the danger position. Last team across the line. Every 3 laps eliminated until there is 2 riders on the track sprinting for the win. We hear the sound of the bell. That's to indicate next lap is an elimination lap. And no real sense of urgency from Josh Harrison. He's going to pop up around the outside. He has Stephen Hall just in front of him. Very late change. And they did it too late. They'll be the first team to go. So Team 12, the Aussies, first team to be eliminated. And I can tell you that they were in no hurry to try and stay in. So looking to save their legs. Another big Madison chase to finish the night off here. So the Aussies just trying to get a little bit of recovery, picking the moments when they go deep. And the team elimination is certainly not a moment they were going to push too hard in. So the next team that's in danger of being eliminated. And off the change, Malchodek, 22-year-old Berliner. Good timing in terms of when they did the hand change. And the extra speed generated means it's the young Polish team. They are the second team to go. Bartosz Rydik. So him and Damian Slavik rounds. Malcherek once again in that last position. And it's JB Murphy. Flick of the head for him. So to come on, get down to me, Ian Potts. We're about to do the change. Next time around, there'll be an elimination. Brian Bussier, last rider. And the change from the young Danish team, but a little bit too late. So Arne Bøkkermose, 21-year-old from Denmark, riding with Anders Finbo. That's the next team to go. This is Niels Weisfenning. His father was a World Madison champion back in the year 2000. Makes the change now to Moritz Augenstein. And Augenstein is going to come over the top of Malchodek. Maybe not the team in danger. You look at Team 24 trying to come right around the outside, but look down to the inside of the track as well. It will be Team 11 with nowhere to go. Stuck on the inside and they couldn't accelerate. So Team 11, it's Emilio Cima from Brescia in Italy, riding with Vladislav Kulikov. Bussier from Belgium. Team 31, they've been sitting at the back for all of these early laps, having to really sprint hard to come around to keep themselves in. 17 from the Czech Republic make their change. German combination of Banush and Schmiedel. They get over the top, and it could have been the British combination between these two teams, 31 and 13. And it is Team 13, Andy Tennant, right down in the middle of the peloton. So Bostock and Tennant. Just again stuck down in the middle of the track with nowhere to go, no room to accelerate. Moritz Malchodek out of the saddle once more. Trying to come around the outside and ducking down on the inside was Augenstein. Was there room to go? There was. That kept him into the race. It was Team 31 last across. Malchodek and Bussier. Raced in America last year. Won 3 stages of the Tour of America's Dairylands. Finished 3rd in the overall classification. So it's a criterium series they have every year in the US. So a good criterium rider. A little bit of work to do in regards to his team eliminations. Well, Teo Reinhardt and also Team 3 Wim Strottinger in the danger zone right at the very back. Just ghosting each other here, 2 of the big teams. But they do enough to keep themselves in. It was Augenstein, Team 32 with Niels Weispenning. You can see the mouth open, really gasping for air. It's a tough one, the team elimination. Every 3 laps, really fighting hard for position. Marino de Pauw in his last ever 6-day race. Come round to get the bell for another elimination lap. He's only 28, Marino de Pauw. He could have a longer career in the 6 days if he wants to, but he wants to start that next career as a policeman. So in his last ever 6-day race, he does enough to keep himself in. JB Murphy, Team 14 from Ireland. Wim Strottinger under a little bit of extra pressure. He's gone down underneath Team 17 and also 15. So Strottinger shooting down underneath. And he was a little bit fortunate there. Andreas Graf opened up the gap to allow Wim Strottinger to come through. That puts him out of the danger zone. Team 17 from the Czech Republic with a late change. And the inexperience from Team 17. That's what's taken them out of the team elimination. You can see the deceleration. Doing a change so late, you get a big advantage off the hand sling. But if you do it too late, the deceleration that happens first almost guarantees that you're not going to make your way through. And you can see there the acceleration from Andreas Muller off the change. You've got to cope with the slowing down first as you go through the transition, and then it's full speed as Muller goes straight around the outside. Now the points that Team 3 are going to get from the team elimination, regardless of where they finish now, will be enough to give them a bonus lap that'll put them up onto the lead lap with team number 1, but it's still the bragging rights and the maximum points from winning the team elimination that they really want to go for. Team 24 the next to go. It's Richard Banusch and Sebastian Schmiedl. Well, in terms of bonus laps, like Mize has team number 7, by staying in this far, they'll also have enough points to get a bonus lap. So team 3 and team 7 will put themselves up onto the lead lap with team number 1. And that'll just leave team 15 lagging 1 lap behind once all the dust settles from this team elimination. Wim Strottinger in last position. They've got Chris Latham on the inside, so he doesn't have to desperately go too hard around the top, just enough to get over the top of Latham. And that takes Latham and Stephen Bradbury out. So 4 teams remaining. Look over the shoulder from Teo Reinhardt in second last position just to see where Marino de Pauw is. They'll get the bell for the next elimination lap, and Marino de Pauw, he was waiting for Teo Reinhardt to just take his eyes off the ball and straight over the top. Change happens from Team 7. Mark Hester comes in, and this is going to be a challenge now for Reinhardt. Bigger fish to fry, perhaps. It was going to be a huge effort to try and come from that position. So Team 1, they've got the most points in the overall, and they'll lose a little bit of an advantage now by going out in 4th place. Have been strong, though, in those Madison chases. 3 teams left. Mark Hester on the front, Wim Strottinger in second position. It's Andreas Graf sitting in 3rd. Team 15 started the night leading the overall classification. They're now sitting down in 4th place. They desperately need to get more points. The maximum points they can get will give them an advantage of also getting that bonus lap and putting themselves back up with the leaders. And it's a big push, and Graf's gone through underneath. That's not going to get him through. So Team 15 are the next to be eliminated. 3rd place points for them. And it's going to be a race between 7 and 3. Strottinger and De Pauw versus Hester and Wolf. So Oliver Wolf Fredriksson up against Marino De Pauw. 2 very fast riders. 28-year-old De Pauw versus the 19-year-old from Denmark. So after all the hard-fought eliminations, it comes down to 2 riders, and it's just like those sprint matches we saw, but with an incredible amount of fatigue in the legs. Heart rate through the roof, and now they're trying to channel their inner sprinter. Oliver Wolf goes first. Down the back, Belgium trying to come over the top, and he does enough. Marino De Pauw, the 28-year-old from Belgium, comes away with a win in the team elimination. So Team 3 over the top of Team 7. Only a couple of more days of racing in the professional career of Marino De Pauw. But great to get a win here in the team elimination. Maximum points for them. They do get their bonus lap, as does team number 7. And an interesting sprint position from Oliver Wolf up to maximum speed, but that's just that extra tiredness in the legs of having to sprint at the end of the team elimination. Great sprint between the 2, and a lot of respect between them as well. So Wim Strottinger and Marino De Pauw, maximum points. It was great chatting to Marino before the start tonight. Just talking about how good friends he is. So 2 friends and their winners, Marino De Pauw and Wim Strottinger.
Moreno, you've still got some sprint speed there.
Yeah, I always had it, and I still know it's somewhere in my legs. And I knew if Oliver Wolf would go first, then I have a gap to close. Then I knew there's a chance I can get him. He's really fast, but I'm happy to beat him.
Jim, it's the second time he's tried to sprint early. It would have been better leaving it.
Yeah, I know if I have someone in front of me, then I can go a little bit faster. And it worked out in the end. So.
Wim, just by being in the top 5 there, you've picked up a bonus lap which puts you in 2nd place, and you've just closed a few points there too on Theo and Morgan. So good news all round.
Yeah. We knew we had to stay in, and actually we needed to win to get back some points. So we're really happy with the win.
Fabulous. Best of luck later on in the Madison.
Thank you.
That closes up the gap they had to the overall leaders. Puts them up into the lead lap, though, which is great. This is confirmation. Strottinger and De Pauw ahead of Hester and Wolf. Graf and Muller, they need some extra points as well. So those top 3 teams are getting a little bit of an advantage over team number 1, Kneski and Reinhardt. But once again, in the most difficult of the races, it's those same 4 teams that really have been dominating. First team to go out, though, Stephen Hall from Josh Harrison. That was all about saving energy, conserving some gas, some fuel for these next big races still to come. They have a 25-minute Madison chase to finish things off tonight. So 3 teams now up onto the lead lap. Kneski and Reinhardt, but you can see the points gap that's also been starting to close down from Strottinger and De Pauw. Not too far behind on points, Hester and Wolf. And another 12 points gained by Graf and Muller, and that'll put 4 teams up onto the lead lap, and then a big gap back to Stephen Bradbury and Chris Latham. They're the first of the teams that are 5 laps behind. They sit in 5th place on 148 points. And as we go down and look at those other teams, all of them a fair way from getting a bonus lap. So if any of those teams can get themselves to 200 points, they'll get a bonus lap and separate themselves from the rest and go to 4 laps behind. But there's a long way for them to do that. Chima and Kulikov, they're at 6 laps down, just ahead of Bostock and Tennant. And it's Rudik and Slavek also 6 laps back. Two teams that are now 7 laps behind. That will change after the next team's race because Henning Rommel and Kirsten Thiel won't be on the track for the final Madison chase. Brian Bussier and Moritz Malczarek, 75 points, but 11 laps behind the leaders. Good friends, one from Belgium on the right, one from the Netherlands on the left. But Marino de Pauw, very likeable Marino de Pauw. He's liked amongst all of the riders, so he'll be sadly missed when he retires from professional six-day riding at the end of the Berlin six-day. Wim Strottinger, he's not looking to retire just yet. A lot more racing still to come from Wim. You can see the riders now coming onto the track. That's the elite ladies. This is where they sit before they come into their final event. Eleanor Barker and Katie Archibald lead Kirsten Wild and Amy Peters. Nelson and Manon Lloyd looking to hold on to that third place, but the Pickler sisters from Poland have been very strong. The deeper we've gone into this competition, Lydia Boylan and Maggie Coles-Lister. It's been an interesting combination, but very strong. So good to see some new riders coming up. So that was Katie Archibald. 20-kilometre Madison to finish things off for the women. Only 3 days of competition for the ladies. It's a mixed bag of events for them. They started with the Omnium, so racing as individuals, individual points, but to come together. The accumulated points for their 2 rider teams. And it was Amy Peters, teammate of Kirsten Wild on screen, that won the opening Omnium on the first night. Night 2, it was all teams races, team elimination and Madison's. And that's when Katie Archibald and Eleanor Barker really did dominate. And the World Madison champions, perhaps a little bit embarrassed, finishing in 2nd place in the Madison last night. They'll be doing everything they can to try and beat Barker and Archibald here tonight. Final 80 laps for the elite women, 20 kilometres of racing, and slightly different rules to what we've been seeing from the men's race. The men's race is with laps gained, which is the old rules of Madison racing. For the ladies, it's under the UCI regulations. If you take a lap on the field, it's 20 points added to your total. So the winning team, regardless of what laps you've taken, is the team with the most number of points. Intermediate sprints every 10 laps, 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. The final sprint though, that's double points. Quite significant, 10, 6, 4 and 2. Looking back towards Eleanor Barker. And a move underneath. This is Tessa Dijksman from the Netherlands. We were on board with Tazuta. So Dijksman's teammate, that's who we were just on board with at the red number 6. And a bit of a so we are one team down. Unfortunately, there was a nasty crash in the Madison last night. And Sunelda Svanholma, 18-year-old from Denmark, she was in the scratch race earlier. She did finish last in the scratch race earlier tonight. So just showing that that crash was quite significant. Showing some courage to actually come back out and do some racing, but not recovered enough to be able to do this Madison. So team number 7 not able to take to the start line. So not super fast to start with. That's why they're all bunched up and just jostling for position, trying to get themselves into the right spot as they come around for the first of the intermediate sprints. In last night's Madison for the ladies, it was the 2 top teams that really did dominate. So if they do look at and really focus on each other, that's when opportunities can be created from any of the other teams that are strong enough to go on the attack, Just wait for the right opportune moment. And you can see now the real fight to get into the positions. 72 laps to go. They'll get the bell the next time around. It's Katie Archibald that leads down the back straight. Barbieri from Italy around the outside and just about to go through the change. You can see the indication there from Katie Archibald. Excuse me, my teammate's about to come in. Give us some space. So a change from Barbieri as we go down the back straight. It's the Italian combination that's going to lead. Francesca Selva might not be able to hold on though because it's Elena Barker that comes over the top. And Barker comes away with the 5 points from the first sprint win. And Team 29, I think it was, about to come into the race. So down on the inside for third place was actually the world champion in Kirsten Wild with Amy Peters. So there was the winners, the first sprint, Elena Barker with Katie Archibald. Just indicating that hand signal from Katie Archibald to Barbieri that we're just about to make a change. Can you please get out of my way? And that allowed Barker to go through and pick up the points. So a shuffle, 10 points for the winner. 198 points now, so it's significant for them. So you can see here Archibald about to make the change and Barbieri about to come through. And that's called splitting a change. If she did come through and go between those two riders, that splits the change. Unable to make it. So quite courteous of Barbieri to actually give enough room to come around the outside. Quite dangerous as well if you do go through the middle of a change. So the first of multiple sprints every 10 laps, and just see on board here with Kirsten Wild and Amy Peters. It's Wild that's in the race, 52 kilometres per hour, and the two Madison World Champions. A little bit of work to do if they're going to be competitive. And there's Kirsten up around the outside, powerful Dutch rider, so much experience. The results throughout her career on the road has just been extraordinary, and so many World Championships on the track as well, 6 indeed. And the rainbow bands as Madison World Champion, so significant and important. And Andreas Müller, as a professional Madison rider, I'm sure that's something that you'd still like to achieve.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Scotty. Yeah, it's nice to watch a Madison race, actually, not riding yourself. And yeah, especially women in Madison really get better and better after it was the Olympic program for the women.
This will be interesting to see how you're a good Madison rider, of course, and in the 6 days, sitting in 4th place overall with Andreas Graf. So team number 15 is who we're talking to, Andreas Müller, that's joined me in commentary for the women's Madison here. We'll get to see what you like as a commentator. Talk us through this one.
Okay.
Elena Barker leads them through.
Yeah.
They've already won the first sprint.
Katie Archibald goes in. Oh, crash.
Oh, there was a crash. So Katie Archibald has gone through. Look over the shoulder from Katie. The gap has opened up from that. So they'll get the maximum points. The world champions have also made their change.
I think it was a crash on position 3. Actually, can't really see good how it happens. Oh, Lisa Klein's a German rider. She crashed.
Also, well, the German time trial. So we'll look at what's happened here. They're in 3rd, 4th position. And it's as Amy Peters goes up around the change of the team in front, that's when Lisa Klein clipped the wheel. So unfortunate racing incident. Amy Peters technically caused the crash, but she had nowhere to go. She had to go out around the outside of the change in front.
Yeah, exactly. I think Lisa Klein was just a little bit too close to the rider in front of her. And so, yeah, Amy Peters had to go somewhere and just touch the wheel. It's sometimes just a question of about some centimeters. And yeah, in the sprint, now we see it again from another perspective. Oh yeah, actually no, it was Lisa Klein completely. So Amy Peters, she had no way to go. And Lisa Klein actually was looking forward to the change. And maybe that's why she didn't focus on the wheel in front of her.
Probably looked worse from Amy at the end because of the pushing against each other, and that made her go up the track a little bit more. But Yeah, just a lack of concentration there from Lisa Klein, coming down a little bit too soon, not realising that the change was about to happen in front, so she needed to just give a little bit more room to those first two teams. So unfortunate, but she's back on the track. So some good character from Lisa. Back out there to race for some more. She is the German time trial champion. She's a rider that I was looking forward to seeing in this race because she's strong enough to really go on the attack and make this a hard race and try and capitalise on the two top teams that really have been looking at each other.
Yeah, she's not a sprinter, so actually she had to go on the lap. And actually, I think she's not doing so many international medicine competitions. I'm not sure about the statistic, but normally I'm pretty sure she didn't do a lot of World Cups, so I didn't saw. So because she's really strong, has a big engine, but yeah, like we just saw, it was just a normal race accident, and with some more experience, this will not happen again to her.
Learn from your mistakes, and if you don't, then there's a word that I'd like to use to describe that person, but we won't right now. It'd be disrespectful. Getting ready for the next sprint. 52 laps to go. They'll get the bell the next time around. And once again, the familiar figure of Katie Archibald on the front. And team number 2, though, trying to set themselves up for a good one here. This is Emily Nelson. She was good on night 1. She's looking for Manon Lloyd, though. She comes down the back straight. And she won't be making the change, so Emily Nelson has to try and hold on here. Off the back of the change, though, Barker with the extra speed and acceleration up straight around the outside. So, wow, dominant performance. That's 3 for 3 for team number 9. Maximum points from the 3 sprints they've had so far. It's also a good way to demonstrate the difference in speed. So Emily Nelson attacked at the right time to go for the sprint off the change before, but it's a long way to the finish. If you make the change at the right time, the acceleration that Eleanor Barker received from the hand sling was just so easy for her to come around the outside and get the win.
Yeah, actually we already saw it in the sprints before. They always did the change before the sprint at the right moment. The sprint before where Lisa crashed, they did exactly change with 1 lap to go, which normally is a perfect moment. Now, actually, this change was a little bit too late on the back straight, but yeah, also, if you do it on position 2, perfect to still win the sprint. And I think you see the experience of these both riders. Actually, of course, they are really good, and it's just you have to be on the right position the laps before. And oh yeah, always interesting. So you see the Australian rider Perry, she's really at the limit, I guess. Well, I don't know what her maximum heart rate is, but I guess 200 or nearly 200 is a good number.
Well, we saw her just then. She just made the change to Nicola McDonald, but there was a real puffing happening from Lauren Perry.
They are working. Actually, I don't know when they arrived. Did you know?
So we were on the same flight from Australia, actually, so 2 days before.
Ah, okay. That's cool.
So this is Nicola McDonald and Lauren Perry. You can just see the heart rate. She was close to 200. She's been out of the race now for almost 2 laps, and it's now only just starting to come down to 185. And that is a real skill or an art to Madison racing. It's not just about how fast you can go when you're in the race, it's how quick you can recover when you're out.
That's actually right, and good riders have this ability, but you see the heart rate is going down, but actually she's still with 178, which is not a really low heart rate, and actually now they have to be back again in the race, so they just went 20 points less, and now already preparing the next sprint.
So Lauren Perry back into the race, just got down to almost 175 beats per minute, and you can see already it's starting to go straight back up. It's Team 9 that's gone to the front. And Amy Peters now, the Madison World Champion. It's a bit of an arm wrestle between team number 1 and team number 9. Bell lap this time, so the next of the sprints, they've been dominated by Team 9. Change in the tactics though this time. It's Kirsten Wild that's going to come in. They'll do the change slightly earlier. But Katie Archibald, off the change of Eleanor Barker, should be able to do enough as she does. So another maximum points effort from team number 9. I noticed the change, though, from Wild and Peters seemed really short.
Short, but they had to do because actually it was really late now. Actually too late for a perfect change, but yeah, she's just such a classy rider and really excited fast. And yeah, you see another sprint won by them.
Dominant force, isn't it? You can see where it was. It was fairly reasonably close in points, but now the gap it's just completely opened up between 9 and 1, and also the gap between number 1 and number 2 for second and third place overall has also started to open up. So really is starting to shuffle itself. We can have a look at the change now. This is Kirsten Wild coming into Amy Peters. They make the change before team number 9. You can see there's not a lot of extension there.
No,
so you're not going to get a maximum speed off the change, whereas you can see from Katie Archibald, just allowing the arm to go a little bit further out, longer reach, more leverage, and then more acceleration when she pulls through. So it gave Kirsten Wild no chance to get extra speed to come over the top.
Yeah, and actually now it also starts to be a little bit a mental battle, because for the Netherlands teams, if they already won nearly all sprints, or actually all sprints, then of course for example now the Netherlands teams, you're getting less and less motivation and have no ideas, and of course opposite side like Archibald, they get now a lot of self-confidence and they are actually looking really comfortable, so having everything under control.
Well, the only way for them to win now, team number 1, they're the Madison World Champions, but the only way to win this particular Madison in the 6-day series event is to gain a lap on the field to get the 20 points, plus maybe pick up a sprint on the way as well. And I really can't see, as strong as they are the world champs, I can't imagine team 9 allowing them to go away and take a lap on the field. So another change from team 9, it's Barker into Archibald. And here comes Kirsten Wild up around the outside once more.
Yeah, like as you said, they had to do a lap, but I mean, for Katie Archibald, it's just, if you know you just have to follow them, then it's more or less easy to prevent them to do a lap.
And it does look as if Kirsten Wild is thinking about it. So Lisa Klein just on the front, team 15. It's team 29. Maggie Coles-Lister. She's been aggressive, 20-year-old from Canada. Great to see her having a real go, actually. Team 29, they've been giving it a real mix. And here comes Kirsten Wild, another sprint. 31 laps to go, still a few more sprints to come. So Kirsten Wild, this is the first time we've really seen the world champions put themselves in a great position to pick the maximum points. Good, strong change to Amy Peters down the back straight. So Peters versus Barker. And it's the world champ that finally cracks Team 9 to pick a win. So 10 points. That was a great change. Good acceleration from Kirsten Wild. A lot of power, Kirsten Wild.
Yeah, that was a perfect change. But maybe for me it looks like Lena Barker, she didn't really try to pass her because they're good in the lead. So she just stayed at the big wheel. And yeah, she gets a lot of power. Actually, of Kirsten Wild, a little bit more body weight, and then it's always a better change from a heavier rider to a rider which is...
Well, we refer to it as a sling, don't we? It's like it's more of a hand sling. And in that case, though, with the power and the power of Kirsten Wild, it was more as if she just grabbed Amy Peters and just threw her around the track.
Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of momentum from Kirsten Wild, and that gives you a lot of speed from the change. But like we saw, they're still more than comfortable in the lead. So we will see. And now, yeah, actually, the time is running out for the Netherlands teams. That's to do a lap. They have to have a good moment and, of course, good legs. But yeah, the race is closer going to the end. So. Yeah, and another good statistics. So actually, they have nearly both the same heart rate, even if one is out of the race. But it's, yeah, like everybody knows, heart rate is really individual from rider to rider. So
this is Dijksman that's in the race on 189 beats per minute.
Yeah,
and looks comfortable.
And now this is a change of the team here.
So we're on board with De Zutter. And there we can see Dijksman waving goodbye. She'll have a chance now, about 30 seconds or so, to try and bring the heart rate back down as much as possible before she comes back into the race. So camera out the back of the peloton. see riders that have made their changes now drifting back past them. And up into the aero position in last position, Marlene de Zutter. And comfortable speed. There's not a lot of pace on at the moment, but they'll be coming around soon to get to the next sprint. 22 laps to go. And the jostling for position. It really does become a sprint fest, doesn't it, with the ladies' Madisons? World champions in third position. So Amy Peters now out of the saddle, trying to set up Kirsten in the right spot. Team number 2 make the change. They're sitting in third place overall. So Amy Peters leads in. We don't see Team 9 anywhere at the moment, so caught a little bit further back. Change about to happen. The world champs right in the front. Very late change from them. That'll do enough, though, for Kirsten to come away with the sprint win. 10 points to them. Lisa Klein, second across the line. No points this time from Team 9. And I wouldn't be surprised if that means team number 9 are quite happy to maybe go on the attack. They've been in every sprint so far. And that's the first time we've seen Eleanor Barker and Katie Archibald not in the sprints. And I'm sure they'd like to go out on a high. 19 laps to go. We'll wait and see. Will there be an attack from team number 9? So teams 1, 15, 2 and 29. See how that shuffles the overall classification. So no change to any of the positions in the top 6.
Yeah, maybe we see a attack from team number 9 because Katie Archibald is such a rider type. She always goes full out. She's not just sitting with peloton and defend her lead. So would be cool. Actually, we didn't saw many attacks now on the race. So would be cool.
Well, I would have liked to have seen it happen already because now we're a couple of laps after that last sprint, so the maximum effort's already been done. They've given them a couple of laps to recover slightly, and now they're sitting in second position. Maybe that attack won't be coming. 2 more sprints remain. Amy Peters, the one in the race at the moment, 47.6 kilometres per hour. So not a lot of speed on. They really have been setting themselves up for each of these sprints every 10 laps. 15 laps to go now. The final 15 laps of the women's competition here at the Berlin 6-day. Amy Peters just up around the outside there of Katie Archibald.
But anyway, we didn't saw many attacks, but actually the good thing is it's much easier to follow the race. Not only for us, of course, also for the spectators here in the venue. So it's a compact peloton, and yeah, 3 laps to the next sprint.
Look over the shoulder from Kirsten Bild. Goes up the track, and they've dragged a few of the riders up as well. Team 29. Maggie calls Lister from Canada. She's been aggressive. Riding with Lydia Boylan
from Ireland, yeah, good combination.
Silver medalist in the point race of the World Championships last year, Lydia Boylan. She's good in this style of racing. And we're coming around to get another sprint now. And once again, Katie Archibald resuming normal transition. Eleanor Barker leads through. They'll have the bell the next time.
And
really
they missed
fast.
the change. They missed the change during the sprint.
So a little mistake there made by the world champions. Eleanor Barker picks up the 10 points. It just shows how important. So the last sprint, it was won by the world champions. Team 9 didn't get any points. And this time, just didn't quite get the change right. And you can imagine how dangerous that is. Unusual to see that, I must say. They just didn't quite grip the hand well enough.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how you saw it, but I think she wasn't too slow. I think there was just maybe not enough power in the arm, that she didn't have the arm. So actually, I didn't saw a mistake, so.
That is sometimes when the change gets split or you decide to pull out of it as if the rider that's coming in is coming in too slow. And when you grab them, you basically just pull them off the bike. So you have to come in at the right speed to make that change. So that's now to the advantage of Katie Archibald. I was waiting for an attack from her. I thought it might have come about 10 laps ago. But I knew she was going to go for it towards the end, Katie. She wants to win the final sprint. She wants to do it in fine fashion. But she has been joined by Daria Pikalik.
It looks a little bit like Katie Archibald listening to our commentator.
Could be on the radio mic down there to Katie, telling her exactly what to do. She doesn't need to hear it from us. She's so strong. Amy Peters has covered it. The sisters from Poland, Daria and Victoria Pikalik, they've been good as well. Not so great on the first night, but once the teams racing started, the two sisters from Poland really have been quite strong.
Yeah, but even if they're winning the last sprint, the Polish team can't go on place 3. They're just 11 points behind, 10 points in the last sprint, so it'll stay on.
So we now know with 1 sprint to go, 4 laps remaining, it's only a crash that will change the top 3. Points gaps are big enough for first, second and third to remain in the positions. It's more about bragging rights. All of them want to win the last sprint, no doubt, and no more so perhaps than team number 9.
Actually, maybe you thought the German team missed the change, but it was looking like purpose, so they just missed, so then one rider gets more recovery and can do his last sprint full out. We will see if this works out.
Dijksman it is. Tessa Dijksman. She's looking for Marlene de Zutter. There's the change now. 1 lap to go. And it's Marlene de Zutter, the 20-year-old from the Netherlands, that'll go through first. And the change from the world champions, it's Amy Peters versus Katie Archibald. Out of the saddle for Amy Peters. She'll come up onto the back wheel of de Zutter, trying to force Archibald 3 wide as they come down the final straight. But Archibald too strong, too fast, simply too good. She wins that final sprint, and along with Eleanor Barker, they will win the Berlin 6-day women's competition. Such a strong ride from those two. They did make a couple of little errors on the second night in the Madison. Seem to be much more polished here tonight. Great change from Kirsten into Amy, and then into the slipstream. It looked as if Amy Peters might have been able to do enough to hold off Katie Archibald, but she's just so strong, so powerful. Come right round the outside to pick up the maximum points and finish off in fine style, win the overall competition by winning the last sprint as well.
Right, I think they were class on his own, like we saw, and they didn't make big mistakes today, so they were really impressive, right?
It was only the 1 sprint that they didn't actually get any points in. Won most of the first sprints, so really did dominate once again. So Eleanor Barker and Katie Archibald, they win the final Madison Chase. They win the overall classification as well. 3 days have wrapped up for the ladies. The gents, of course, another 3 days of comp to go. So 254 points. Massive gap in the end back to Kirsten Wild and Amy Peters, the World Madison champions. Emily Nelson and Manon Lloyd, they did enough to hold on to 3rd place overall as they went into that race in that position as well. Daria and Victoria Pikalik from Poland, they held on to 4th. And it was Lydia Boylan and Maggie Coles-Lister. 5th place for them. Good stride. Lisa Klein, she dusted herself off after that crash to finish 6th with Katharina Heckler. Now, so Eleanor Barker and Katie Archibald, what a great performance it was from them. 3 days of fantastic competition. Let's hear from them right now.
Katie, well, sorry, we'll just stop you congratulating your competitors and say, of all the Burns Night celebrations I've ever seen, that was one of the most categorical. You didn't win every sprint, but you seem to be going for perfection out there.
Yeah, I think day 3 of racing, it really showed. Everyone was struggling, like real hesitant to make those attacks. And it played to our favour.
And for a Welsh girl, I don't know if Burns Night is terribly important to you, but either way, you've assisted Katie in a fabulous celebration, Eleanor. That was pretty categorical. How did it feel out there?
Well, it's actually also Welsh Valentine's Day. So yeah, we get to celebrate equally, which is quite nice.
Well, listen, congratulations to both of you. What can I ask you? Where does this stand in the structure of this big season? You've been outstanding over the past 4 nights.
When I look at this racing, I'm really excited about the seasons that are going to come. Yep. We're seeing some big changes in tracks, like in general. You've seen UCI move the calendar about, and I think events like this, certainly for women anyway, are going to keep expanding, going to be more opportunities to be professional riders, and that's what I think about when I win races here.
And as a Madison pair, you're absolutely formidable. You're going to be staying together and racing together as the two of you?
I mean, I'd really like that, but yeah, it's pretty difficult for us to say at the minute. There's another pairing racing in Milton tonight, actually, and then we've got only another 4 weeks to make a selection.
Well, listen, fabulous performance over these past few days, and thank you so much. The best of luck to you for the weeks to come.
Welsh Valentine's Day. You learn something new every day. Didn't realise there was such a thing. And this is the final lap. Team number 1 did a great job to set themselves up for this final lap. Great change from Kirsten Wild into Amy Peters, but just the sheer speed and power of Katie Archibald. You can see that little bit of a head wobble as she's putting the full gas through the pedals. And even though she had to ride 3 wide to get round the outside, she just had so much more speed. So great win. Finishing off in fine form. And it was Daria Pikalik that came over the top to finish in second. So there's our top 3. Katie Archibald and Eleanor Barker in the middle come away the overall winners of the women's competition, ahead of Kirsten Wild, Amy Peters, and also Emily Nelson and Manon Lloyd. 3rd place for them. Four riders from Great Britain, once again just showing the dominance of the track cycling program that has been developed and continues to produce amazing talent. The Netherlands, also a strong track cycling nation in particular. The track sprint program has been incredibly dominant over the last couple of years. A few more bottles of champagne for the ladies. They might actually get to drink it tonight with the competition being wrapped up. Still a focus on the World Championships to come, and of course the Olympic Games later on this year. So Andreas Muller has gone back down into the infield to get himself sorted. And just looking at this celebration, final photos to be taken from the elite women. I now have Stephen Hall up here beside me to have a bit of a chat. Stephen, it's been incredible how much depth of talent there is in the women's peloton.
Yeah, absolutely. You just saw with the women there that they've really stepped up now that the Madison's been introduced with the women's field, and yeah, it was just on showcase there. You see Katie Archibald came out on top, and with her partner Eleanor. So it's yeah, it's great to see.
So the next race is coming onto the track, and we'll get Stephen Hall to talk us through that once we get going. But we've got the overall classification first. Kineski and Reinhardt, Stoltinger and Powell, and also Hester and Wolf. They're the 3 teams on the lead lap. We had Andreas Graf up here just moments ago. They'll be looking for 12 more points, along with Andreas Muller. And that'll get themselves up onto the lead lap as well. If they get to 200, they get a bonus lap, and it'll be 4 teams once again locked on 0 laps. Gap starting to open up though. The 5th team in the overall classification, Stephen Bradbury and Chris Latham, 5 laps behind, and right down to 9th place there. Teams from 5th to 9th locked, 9 laps back behind the rest. And we're just about to get underway with the next of the races. It's a 7.5 kilometre points race. The riders that are not doing the Derny heats tonight, doing the points race. And number 1, Morgan Kineski. It'll be interesting to see if he puts in too much of an effort, because we know we have the Madison Chase still to come. And it's one of those things, isn't it, Stephen, that you've got a rider like Morgan Kineski out here who could certainly win this race, but it's whether he wants to put in the amount of effort that's required to win the points race when you've still got a 25-minute Madison to come tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the points breakdown, and it's you certainly get some points if he comes out and wins here, but there's more on the line in the final chase later on tonight. So I think he'll try and pick up some points if he can, but his main priority is going to be that final chase a little bit later on.
Have to judge the effort, don't you, over 6 nights of racing. So many races, so many maximum efforts to be put in. And if you actually get on the track and go 100% every single time, then at some point you're probably just going to explode. And if you do that during a Madison chase, you might lose a couple of laps. There's Morgan Kineski, 3 times World Madison champion. Each time he won a Madison World title, it's been with a different partner. So just showing some real consistency. Chris Latham leads them through. Sprint every 5 laps, 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. 30 laps total, and the final sprint is double points, 10, 6, 4 and 2. This is the 7.5 kilometre men's points race. And all of these riders will be coming back out later tonight for the final Madison chase over 25 minutes. And we've got the Derny race to come. Now, you were in the first Derny, Paulie. How was that? Well, we're just about to have the first sprint. We'll have a chat about that first Derny in just a moment. And you can see not a lot of pace on. It's your teammate, Josh Harrison, on the front. Always difficult to be in the first position and having to lead yourself out for the sprint. Josh just allowing a few riders to come over the top. And it's Sebastian Schmiedel can get there. Second place for Josh Harrison. And it was Schmiedel that picked up the 5 ahead of Josh Harrison, team number 12. And it's always find it interesting with Josh. He looks comfortable on the bike, but when he's putting the full pressure down, he gets a little upper body wobble. Yeah. And that you just know when he's got the wobble going, that's when he's going full gas.
Yeah, I've been behind that a couple of times when we're not always racing together. I know his riding style, I know what he looks like, and I'm definitely glad he's in my corner, because when he's flying, he's one of the hardest guys to beat, definitely on the Australian circuit. But yeah, as you said, just it's always difficult when you're leading into the sprint, sitting in that first wheel. You're a bit of a sitting duck. You want to try and get a couple of guys to slip over and then make the run like he did there. And he didn't quite get the 5 points, but he still hung on for 3. So he'll keep ticking away. And Schmiedel's very quick also.
Well, you and Josh certainly had some great battles at the National Championships in points race and scratch race over the last couple of seasons. So been head-to-head quite a bit, both medalists at the National Championships level. So coming together, and I've described both of you as crafty riders. In the bunch races, you know how to ride, you know where to be in the right position. And if you want to go for the points in things like points race, you have to really be a crafty, you're a smart thinker. And it's Chris Latham, the lanky Englishman. He'll do enough to make sure he gets the 5 points. Emedio Cima from Italy, team number 11, comes across the line in second place. And it was Lignoski, team 17, from the Czech Republic. 2 points for him, finishing in third. Latham, Cima, Lignoski and Andreas Graf, 1 point for him. And we know Graf and Müller chasing the extra lap bonus from another 100-point gain. So a little bit of work to do for Team 15 to get themselves back up onto the lead lap. This is an opportunity for Andreas Graf to do that through the points race. So 18 laps remain. Andreas, 143 beats per minute. He was in that last sprint and now down to 136. Pretty comfortable, actually. Low heart rate for Andreas.
Yeah, Graf's one of the best points race riders in the world. This probably isn't, he'd probably like another 100 laps on this, because he just gets better and better as it gets a bit longer. He's not known for his speed, but he's one of the strongest guys. He's very, very Austrian style, like Müller, like Matzner, like Mastala. Incredibly strong, and he'll be looking to definitely get some points and hopefully get that bonus lap a bit later on.
Sound of the bell. Sprints coming thick and fast in the men's points races, as the sprints are only every 5 laps. Arnie Berkemorze up on top of the handlebars, sprinting in the more unusual position, but he's fast enough to get the 5 points ahead of Lignoski. And it was Brian Bossier in third as they came across.
So hands on top of the handlebars, still fast enough to get the 5 points ahead of Lichnowsky, Bussière, and then it was Henning Bommel. So team number 4, the individual races, Henning Bommel able to come out back onto the track. Unfortunately, his teammate Kirsten Thiele having a fever at the start of the night, so he has been riding in the Madison events. So they'll lose a few laps when we get into the final chase tonight, being unable to partake. 13 laps to go. Berkemolzer, he's already won one of these points races, and his teammate Finbo also won a points race. So the youngsters from Denmark, in the races where they really can show that they have some potential, have been able to get out there and do something. So Henning Bommel with the freshest legs of all of the riders, having not raced either the first Madison or the team elimination. Heart rate of 140, but the next sprint's starting to come. Josh Harrison in second position here, primed to maybe go for the maximum points. Hard on the back wheel, though, of Sebastian Schmiedel. So Schmiedel just about to be pounced on by Josh Harrison, and Harrison comfortably over the top. And Josh's teammate, Stephen Hall, sits beside me. I'm sure that'll bring a smile to your dial, Stephen. Another 5 points for Josh.
Yeah, beautiful. He played that well. He got a nice lead out there from Schmiedel, and he just made that perfect run on the track. Each track, of course, that we race on a lot of the time is 250 metres, but it's got different shapes, different angles, the way that you hit the sprint. This is very similar to my home track in Perth, and the way he played that is perfectly. He laid off a bit down the back straight and had a nice run at him through the third and fourth bend, and got that slingshot around him and took it quite comfortably in the end.
And that does put him up with 2 sprints to go in equal first place. So 2 riders on 8 points.
Big move by Bussière here.
Well, huge move. Sitting in last place in the overall classification. So while they're racing for points throughout the points race, it's not those points that get added to your total. It's the points you can see on the screen now. If you win the points race, you get 20 points, which is quite a bit more than what they're probably going to get throughout the race anyway. You take a lap on the field, well, you get double points. You get 20 points to take a lap. And Brian Bussière, it was a big acceleration to go on the attack. He will get this sprint, but I can see a bit of a deceleration happening now as well. So Brian Bussière, he went long range, he picked up the 5 points. Lichnowsky, he gets second, so 3 points for him. We've seen him in several sprints, Lichnowsky. And the speed is not the same as what we saw when he went on the attack. Brian Bussière, he might be able to hold on though for this final sprint. And Henning Bommel now coming. So the big bomb coming from Bommel. And it's a race in 2 between Bussière and Henning Bommel. 3 laps to go. There's confirmation. Bussière over Lichnowsky, Bostock and Hester. But Henning Bommel, he's very quickly closed down that gap to Brian Bussière. Look over the shoulder from Brian. I don't think he's going to be able to accelerate to get onto the back wheel. That's not going to be the case. So he sat out the 2 team races tonight, Henning, and that gives him the freshest legs coming into this one. 10 points on offer. Let's see what this does for the overall classification. Henning Bommel comfortably is going to come away. We can call this one already. He will win the final sprint. Brian Bussière has also done enough to hold on to get second place. It'll be 10 points to Henning Bommel. 6 points will go to Brian Bussière. But there is a real sprint for third place. And it will be Josh Harrison getting the scraps, finishing in third. And it's 4 points for him. Double points on that final sprint. And we haven't seen too much from Henning Bommel tonight with his teammate falling ill. Final lap. He could just gas off now, sitting up halfway down the back straight, waving to the crowd, celebrating the small things at the moment while he's not in the Madison or the team elimination.
Just waiting to see those final points there. I'm not sure if Harrison might have done enough. You think he would have picked up 4 points for finishing third in that final sprint. And we're just waiting to see the final placings there to see who took that out.
We did have 8 coming into that final sprint, didn't he? Pick up 4 with the double points, finishing 3rd, so that would have taken him to 12. 10-point win there for Henning Bommel. I'm not sure how many points he had earlier on, so we'll wait for the final confirmation of who the winner is of that points race.
By my count, Bussier with the 5 points and then finishing 2nd with him 6. He should be on 11, so it might be close at the top. It might come down to a count back between some of the minor placings, but for me, I think it might have been Harrison.
So confirmation does sound as if rider number 31, Brian Bussier, picked up some points earlier on, plus the results in the last 2. So he went to 13, just 1 point ahead of your teammate, Stephen Hall, Josh Harrison. That's all right, though, up in the points.
Yeah, I think Josh will be a little bit upset about that, only a point, but at the same time, it's adding to our tally. So, you know, we're on day 3, we've still got 6 days to go, so anytime we can pick up points in races like this, we'll take it. I'm sure Josh would love to be taking the ride up to the podium right now, but 2nd's still a good finish.
Well, it was a good win in the points race from Brian Bussier. It was a big long-range attack to give himself the best advantage to get the win, and he's with Matt.
Brian, congratulations. It's not the first time we've seen you attack like that. It's not the first time we've seen your friend Moreno de Pau out on the track, giving it large and encouraging you on. But this time, you've won the race. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was a great feeling. I thought to myself the last day I was attacking too early, so I thought to myself maybe a little bit later, and it was good planned, I think. With 1 point I went, I was thinking that I was not winning, but then I saw the scoreboard and I won, so yeah, really happy about this.
Well, listen, it's great to see another name on the leaderboard and more success for someone outside those top teams. Well done, Brian.
Thank you.
So a good win for Brian. He's down in last place in the overall class, so he'd be happy to get one of the smaller race wins. So Morgan Koneski and Teo Reinhardt, we still have a Derny race to come, so points to be had from that, plus the 25-minute Madison Chase. They still lead the way ahead of Strottinger and De Pauw, Hester and Wolf. And Andreas Graf and Andreas Muller, they're not too far from getting that extra bonus lap. And in 5th place, the best of the rest. A few teams stacked up 5 laps down, Bradbury and Latham, Bukovac and Lignoski from the Czech Republic. And the youngsters from Denmark, Birkemoser and Finbo, they've been showing some class. Morgenstein and the youngest rider on the track, Niels Weisvending, the 19-year-old, they're in 8th, ahead of Banks and Schmeidel. Stephen Hall, who sits beside me right now, just watched his teammate Josh Harrison finish 2nd in that points race. That puts them up to 142 points in 10th place overall, but the first of the teams that are 6 laps behind in the GC. In 11th place, Emilio Cima. He's from Brescia in Italy. Rides for the Gazprom team on the road, and he's alongside Kulikolov 6 laps down. Henning Bommel and Kirsten Thiele, that will change a little bit because they have gone up into a bonus lap with 110 points, but they won't be in the Madison tonight, so we expect them to drop down from 12th place. Bostock and Tennant, they'll go up above them by the end of the night. Riddick and Slavek sit there in 14th ahead of Murphy and Potts, the Irishman. And the winner of the points race, Brian Bussier, with Moritz Malcharek from Berlin, 95 points and 11 laps behind. So Marino was mentioned earlier as a friend of Brian's, and you can see he's wrapped. They're in last place overall, but a win in the points race, you can take what you can get. If you're not going to be competitive up against the more dominant and stronger riders in the Madison events, just go and win whatever you can. So still a few more events to come tonight. It is the golden night here at the Berlin 6-day. And there's a bit of lederhosen going on as well. And we've got the Derny race to come. So the riders that went in the first Derny race or in the points race, they get to race in the next Derny event over 40 laps. And it'll be the 6th of the Derny races that we've seen. All the points they've been gathering is to go into the A or the B final for the Derny on the final night of comp, Tuesday night. So still a few more events to come. We'll see the sprinters again in the Kirin final. All 7 riders will be on the track. They'll be out after the Derny, and then we'll finish off, as we do, with the 25-minute Madison chase. And there's still so much to race for here on Saturday night here in Berlin.
Okay. Moreno de Pau, we saw you at the side of the track there, cheering on Brian Bossaer there, and he's finally got his win.
Yeah, indeed. He tried already a few days. Here he is, the legend. No, he tried already a few days, and I talked to him. I said, try in the end, take some points. And he did it. He listened to me, and I'm happy for him.
So Moreno's taking credit for that. You understand what he's saying, Brian?
Yeah. But yeah, he taught me everything, so...
And listen, you two, how long have you been friends? What's the friendship between you? Where do you know each other from?
Yeah, we race each other in Belgium. Belgium is not so big, so all the track cyclists know each other. We're one big family, and we get along all very well. And we're the only 2 Belgians here, so we have to support each other. And yeah, that's.
It's true because Wim Struiting has got the Belgian colours on his sleeves there, so you're claiming him as one of your own.
Yeah, Wim is one of my own too, so yeah, we are one big family.
Andreas, you're part of the big family as well, and you're not Belgian at all. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I also want to be part of the Belgian family, actually. That's why I'm here.
It works out. You can be the grandfather.
Listen, great crowd, great moments. We've got a big Madison ahead. What's going to happen in that? What's the plan?
First I have a Derny heat, so I try to take some points there.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's a big fight with the 4 teams in the lead. We're watching each other closely, and I think it will stay like this for 3 more days. We won't let the other one take a lap, and they won't let us take a lap, so it will be a big fight until the final end. That's for sure.
It's going to be a great show. Moreno, thank you very much. Brian, congratulations again.
Again, thank you.
Bit of fun between the riders there, Stephen Hall. Good camaraderie, and just referring to the age of Andreas Muller being the grandfather, if there was a family of 6-day riders. It is his 20th consecutive start here in the Berlin 6 Days, so that's quite impressive. 20 years racing in Berlin, which is where he's from. He rides for Austria, but he certainly is a Berliner.
Yeah, Muley's, I think he's only 40 actually, but you look in his eyes and you can tell that he's ridden a lot of 6 days. he's definitely, he's more experienced than anyone out there. He's so smooth on the bike. He's just, me personally, he's just taught me a lot about Madison racing. I actually rode the Bendigo Madison with him in Australia back in 2016, I think. So great guy, brilliant Madison rider, and he's one of the very best.
Great atmosphere here, of course, in Berlin. It's the 109th edition of the Berlin 6 Day, and the centre of the track, it's the worst place to watch the racing from because you get dizzy if you try and follow them all the way around as you keep turning around in circles. But it's just such a great atmosphere, and it's fairly unique to just Europe and the 6 Day scene, isn't it?
Yeah, this was my favourite 6 Day of last season. I really enjoyed it here in Berlin. I saw snow for the first time, coming from Perth, Western Australia. It's not something we see very often. It's not as cold this year, but the crowd is amazing. I think we can get 7,000-8,000 people here, and you have a look down in the middle, and it's just absolutely packed. It's really great that the crowd can be right next to you when you're warming up on the rollers. We take photos, we have a little chat, and it's, compared to some of the other 6 days, this is probably the closest you can get. So whether you're up in the stands or down in the middle alongside us, it's a great atmosphere. I love it here.
We just saw a glimpse of the restaurant there. What about the smell from the restaurant? When you're getting a bit hungry late in the night, you wouldn't mind going in for a bratwurst.
Yeah, look, it's the smell's going around. The coffee smells good. The beer looks good. We wait a little bit longer for that one, but yeah, it's a great atmosphere. Everyone's enjoying it down there, so it's we hope that they're entertained and enjoying the show.
Yeah, you can see the beer that has been consumed. It really is one of the traditional races, the 109th edition of it. So. Great atmosphere. The crowd are slightly intoxicated perhaps, but they're also intoxicated by the sport that has been happening. It's a great night here, the Saturday night, the golden night here at the Berlin 6 Day. He got the crowd up and about. Teo Reinhardt, the World Madison champion, likewise. Great atmosphere inside the velodrome here. It's the 109th edition of one of the most traditional events on the international cycling calendar. We're just about to get ready for the 40-lap Derny. It'll be the 6th heat of the Dernies, the 2nd for tonight. We'll see the sprinters back on track. Max Levy looking to impress in front of a home crowd once more in the Kirin final. All 7 riders on the track at the same time. And we'll wrap things up with the 25-minute Madison chase. That'll close out the halfway point of the Berlin 6-day. Earlier tonight, we saw plenty of action. We started with the 30-minute Madison chase to get things underway. And it was the world Madison champion. Did enough throughout the race, taking plenty of laps. And combining with Morgan Koneski, the former Madison world champ, they come away with the first Madison win to kick things off tonight. So Teo Reinhardt, he had the Berlin crowd up and about with a fantastic win. He was also back for the Dernies as well. He was on fire at the start of the evening, and you could see screaming at Mario von Hoff to go faster as they went round the outside. So a win in the Madison to kick things off, and then a win in the first Derny heat tonight as well for Teo Reinhardt. In the team elimination, it came down to team number 7 versus team number 3, and the teenager from right up in contention for the overall classification. 3 teams on the lead lap for now, but don't wait too long for Andreas Graf and Andreas Muller to join them. They're only 12 points from gaining a bonus lap, and we'll see 4 teams up on the lead lap once more. Stephen Bradbury and Chris Latham, they do lead the best of the rest, 5 laps down on 152 points. And there will be a race into... We wrapped up the elite women's competition here. We started with the 10-kilometre scratch race, only 3 nights of competition for them. And over the top of Kirsten Wild, it was Katie Archibald. Emily Nelson was trying to come around as well, the European scratch race champion. But Archibald, maximum points, first to the line to win the scratch race. That kicked off proceedings here for the final night of racing for the women. In the 20-kilometre Madison, it was absolutely dominated by team number 9, Archibald and Eleanor Barker. They were racing against the world champions, Amy Peters and Kirsten Wild, and they showed them very little respect because they completely dominated the race and came out on top. They won the final Madison chase and the overall classification. Barker and Archibald, so strong. Kirsten Wild and Amy Peters, they held on for 2nd overall, ahead of Emily Nelson and Manon Lloyd. The Polish sister combination of Daria Piklik and Victoria, they were good enough to finish in 4th ahead of the Irish and Canadian combination of Lydia Boylan and Maggie Coles-Lister. The sprinters, well, it's all been about Max Levy. 250-metre flying time trial. He was by far the fastest. 12.222 seconds for 1 lap of the track here in Berlin. And in front of a home crowd, he really did please. Ironman Max, strongest man on the track. That put him into the sprint final up against the German sprint champion. It was Max versus Max, Dornbach versus Levy. And Dornbach on the inside had the shorter run to the line. Levy come around the outside. It was very close. But it was Max Levy just over the top of the German sprint champion, Maximilian Dornbach. The general classification for them has the 2 Maxes on top, Levy and Dornbach. And the gap is just starting to open up between those 2. Thomas Barbeck, the best of the rest, in 3rd place, the veteran from the Czech Republic, ahead of the 19-year-old Anton Huhne, the next generation of sprinter coming through from Germany. So this is what's coming up next. We've got the 6th heat of the Dernies. Stephen Bradbury for team number 2, Marino De Paul. We heard from him before. He wants to pick up some extra points for team number 3. Oliver Wolf, Bartosz Rydik, Vladislav Kulkov, Andy Tennant, JB Murphy, and Andreas Muller, the grandpa, the oldest rider on the track, but certainly very, very good indeed. So we're just about to get underway now for the Dernies. They're all lined up and ready to go. Matt Bostock has joined me up in commentary. So we're just waiting for these guys to get underway, and we'll get your take on the racing thus far, Matt. So 1 lap to go before we get going. Marino Depot on the right-hand side. Just behind him is Oliver Wolf Fredriksson. So Marino Depot, 28, going into retirement after this. 19-year-old from Denmark just behind him. There's Andy Tennant, Andreas Muller, JB Murphy, and the rest of the riders getting underway. The Derny race, this is the second of the Dernies for the third night of competition. And the points gains put you either into the Derny A or B final on the final night. Everybody wants to be into the A final, but it's also makes it extra hard, a bit of extra pressure in the legs before you go into that final Madison chase to finish things off. So Derny racing, Matt Bostock, what do you think? You enjoy it or not?
It sort of depends on your driver, to be honest. Sometimes
there was a hesitation there. You were going to say no, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get a kind driver who accelerates slowly and is just a bit nicer to you, but sometimes you sat last wheel and all of a sudden he thinks, I want to win this, and then you end up riding around the fence faster than anyone else, and yeah, it's not easy then.
Well, come on, name names. Who are we talking about? Which Derny driver do you like to be behind? We're on board with Peter Boyerlein, who has Marino Depot behind him. And I used to ride behind Peter back in the day when I was riding 6 days a long time ago. And he was a little bit like that back in the day, accelerating too fast. So perhaps over time, I would hope that he has really learned his craft.
Yeah, he is good. He just sometimes he leaves it a bit late, I think. And I had that in London. But yeah, they're all experienced, and you struggle to find someone who's too bad. It's just somewhere slightly better than others.
Great atmosphere here in Berlin. You mentioned London. It was incredible atmosphere as well. It doesn't have the lineage and the heritage of the Berlin 6-day, but they're fairly similar in terms of the atmosphere and the crowd support.
Yeah, it's been great here actually. It's incredibly loud, and there's a lot of people here, and yeah, the atmosphere is great. A lot of whistling. You seem to love a whistle over here. Yeah, they're pretty even in terms of the crowd.
So still early runnings, 33 laps to go, still just building themselves up to maximum speed. Marino Depot, 61 kilometres per hour. Kulikov, Russian rider now, goes into the first position. There's a real skill to it as well, as a rider as well, isn't it? You just don't jump in behind a Derny for the first or second time and expect to be able to get a really good result. It does take a bit of time and track time behind a Derny to get that sort of experience.
Yeah, you've got to really get used to just the feel of it, and obviously the speed you go in, there's not a lot of room for error, so you don't want to make any mistakes at that speed, and it gets really tight, and it's a bit daunting at first. You go around the bend and you can pretty much touch the people next to you, and obviously you got the Derny, it's quite wide, and it can be a bit intimidating really, but it is something you get used to and something you gradually begin to enjoy.
And this is really the only place that you can actually get that experience. Derny racing, there used to be, back in the day, a lot more of it, individual Derny championships, where really now it's just in the 6 days where it gets to happen. And if you're part of a national team pursuit program, for example, you never get to ride behind a Derny, so you have to come to the big league in the 6 days to actually get the experience to start with.
Yeah, up until London I'd done one when I was 17, I think, so I had pretty much zero experience, and it was a bit scary, obviously, in front of the crowd and a lot of noise, and you just got to focus on that back wheel and just try and just think of the basics basically, and just relax and just compose yourself, I guess.
Breathe in, breathe out, follow the bike in front. It sounds simple, but it's not. You see the heart rate starting to come up a little bit now. So almost 180 beats per minute from Riddick. And the speeds as well, and you see the difference as well. And as you go through the bends, it's probably hard to explain, but the difference in the feeling, and you can see the Polish rider just struggling a little bit there to hold the bike, but there is a real difference in the feel behind the Derny from through the bends to down the straights.
Yeah, that is the main thing that you've got to get your head around really. You get really sucked into the bend, and you've got to almost back off a bit, and then coming into the straight, it runs away from you a bit, and you've just got to get used to it, I guess, and get in the rhythm of just sort of easing off a little bit as you run at the bike, and then starting to squeeze again coming out the bank.
And again, for the Derny drivers, the more experienced ones who understand that the cyclist that's following them does really get a run into the back of the bike when they go through the bends, that's when they can really give you the best advantage by having the best rhythm around the track. And each track's slightly different as well, different shape. This is a different shape to the track in London. Yeah, definitely. And if you watch them, they sort of tend to take, depending on the track, they'll take a different line into the banking. Some tend to go lower and a lot further under the blue and then come up on the straights, and that helps a lot to smooth it out, especially if it's a steep transition on the track. Well, here we go. It's an all-British affair at the front now. Stephen Bradbury. Andy Tennant comes around the outside of them. A bit of experience there, your teammate Andy Tennant. He has come from, I think he just come from Calpo. You've been involved with that training program as well? Yeah, Andy's been in Calpo, getting the hours in. He's obviously great experience, and I hope he can pick up some points for us here. Give him all the encouragement now to try and go for maximum points. He comes through. 19 laps to go for Andy Tennant. So while he was in Spain training on the road, it meant that he wasn't doing this. So it has taken him a couple of days maybe to find his track legs and get the rhythm. And we're just looking at how close he can sit to the back of the Derny. The closer you can sit, the more advantage it is, the more you're in the slipstream of the draft of the Derny. And he's looking nice and close. Yeah, he's got it nailed there, I think. He's obviously experienced and it's probably second nature to him now. And one thing that does need to be considered if you've had a bit of a big road-based training and then you come onto the track is the fact that they're on fixed gears. You don't get the freewheel. It does take a little bit of time just to get used to pedaling all the time and not being able to back off. Yeah, I think we both struggled a bit these first few days just with the fixed gear, and obviously the gearing's a bit smaller. When you're on the road, you tend to just ride that lower cadence, and on the track you're just revving out, and that's what's sort of holding us back a bit at the minute, but hopefully we'll ride into it and get a bit better at spinning. Move coming now from Andreas Müller. So Müller, born in Berlin, rides for Austria. It's the 20th start in Berlin, 6 days for him. The grandfather of the 6-day series is riding behind Ron Zeilard, the Gold Derny of Ron Zeilard, a famous cycling family, the Zeilards. And a big move. You can tell Ron letting Andreas know that we're going to keep going, go to the front, but let's just keep it up. And he looks comfortable, almost just touching the fender of the Derny there, right up against the back of it. Andreas Müller in first position. Now, Müller and Graf Team 15, they need the points. They're only 12 points away from gaining a lap. If they can win this Derny, that'll put them up onto the lead lap as well. They'll get a bonus if they get to 200 points. So this is really important to Team 15 to really go all the way and try and maximise the points that they can get. The gap really has opened up. Andy Tennant still sits in second position. There's a move coming from Marino De Paul. You see the team sitting in 4th place overall, Team 15. That's Andreas Müller that's gone right in front, and that really has encouraged Marino De Paul to make sure he doesn't lose too many points to Andy Müller. Inside 10 laps to go now, 9 laps remain. Big lead held by Andreas Müller. And in his retirement 6-day, Marino De Paul being paced by Peter Boyerlein, trying to close down that gap. Müller leads. Marino De Paul, 28-year-old from St. Nicholas in Belgium. And now comes a teenager, team number 7. So Oliver Wolf. But still, a significant lead being held here from Andreas Müller. 6 laps to go. It is starting to close down. 5 laps this time when they come around. Matt, looking at the body language, who do you think looks strong?
De Paul looks good. I think Müller looks like his legs are about to fall off, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see if he can hold on here.
Well, I hope they don't. There'll be carnage on the track if his legs fall off. But it's Müller that leads through, the veteran. He needs the points for the overall classification. As close as he can get to the fender of Ron Zylard. They'll come round for 3 laps to go now. Oliver Wolf has come to the back wheel of Marino Depot. And maximum speed coming from the teenager from Denmark. Once again out of the saddle. 2 laps to go, coming for 1.5 now. Andreas Muller still leads. Oliver Wolf, par number 2, team number 7 in the second position. Marino Depot looks as if he was ready to pounce, but he's just started to ease off. Muller trying to hold on. This is the last lap down the back straight. Oliver Wolf coming up around the outside. Marino Depot is out of contention now. Muller versus Wolf. And the veteran, the Berliner. Forget about the fact that he races for Austria now. Let's just think of him as a rider from Berlin. This is where he was born. And in front of a home crowd, Andreas Muller, he went early, he went long, and he just held on to get the win. Well, his legs didn't fall off, luckily, and he was able to hold on. You could really see that he was starting to struggle. You've got to wonder how much that costs, the energy that you have to put in to get a win like that when you've still got a Madison Chase still to come tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it costs him a lot if he struggles later, but he's experienced and I'm sure he'll back it up well.
Well, it was a real run from the 19-year-old from Denmark, Oliver Wolf, Fredriksen. Marino Depot looked as if he was ready to go. But he finished in 3rd place. Andreas Muller. And the points gained will now be enough as we get confirmation of the result. So Andreas Muller ahead of Oliver Wolf Fredriksen. Marino Depot in 3rd place. Andy Tennant held on for 4th place. So some points for you guys. Team 13, that's great, ahead of Steve Bradbury. So bragging rights for the Brits. Kulikov, then it's Riddick and JB Murphy from Ireland in 8th place. But significantly, the points gained by Andreas Muller should be enough to give them a bonus lap. And I'm glad he didn't have his helmet on his head through the Derny race like that, but he's wrapped the grandpa of the Berlin Six Day, Andreas Muller.
Andreas, it looks like that felt pretty good.
Yeah, that was really great, actually. And yeah, I know they are not good and bad gangmakers. They're just one which fits better to you and which are fitting not so good as you. But I think with Ron, it's like a couple.
And Ron, with this crowd that's crazy about Andreas, his home crowd, it's pretty good noise, huh?
The last 5 rounds I cannot hear him, and I think we keep the distance between the second one. And yeah, he did an amazing job.
Fabulous stuff. Listen, one final question. That will have taken some energy. It feels good now, but you've got a big Madison waiting for you. Yesterday, you and Andreas won 2 of them. What happens now?
Yeah, of course, it was taking some energy, but now we're going under the 200 points, which is importantly, and now we are also in the lap, and then we will see what happens in the chase.
Okay, brilliant. Andreas, well done. You better go up to the podium. Thank you.
Well, a happy chappy, Andreas Muller. And significantly, he mentioned the 200 points. They were 12 points off getting to 200. And we can see what that has done. They've gone up to 208 points, another 100 points. The bonus lap has been achieved, and that puts 4 teams now on that lead lap. So very tight at the top. Stephen Bradbury and Chris Latham, they are the best of the rest in 5th place. We can really focus on the teams that are racing for the overall classification. Kneski and Teo Reinhardt, they are leading the way for now. Josh Harrison and Stephen Hall, 6 laps behind on 142 points. So they've still got a significant amount of points, the Aussies, so they're doing well, sitting in 11th place. Another bottle of champagne for Ron Zylard in particular. He's been on the podium quite a bit. Such an accomplished Derny rider. Just has the knack, has the feel. Knows how to gauge the speed. And it doesn't take much to really hurt the legs of the rider if you're inconsistent in your accelerations or the way they ride the track. So Ron Zeiler, just a master of pacing. Next on the track will be the sprinters for their Kieran. Last race of the night for them. And it's Max Levy ahead of Max Dornbach, Thomas Barbeck, Anton Huner, and Yin Singh, S.L. Albin in 6th place, and Owen Mullen, the Irish sprint champion, sitting down in 7th. So the two Maxes, they've been the dominant sprinters, but when it comes to a Kieran, 7 riders on the track, and we saw an upset on the first night, and it was the 21-year-old from Taiwan, Yen Singh, that come away with the win in the Kieran. So the riders coming up onto the track to get themselves ready. This is the final race for the sprinters on the 3rd night of competition here at the Berlin 6-day. It's the party night. The atmosphere in the velodrome has been amazing. So much tradition. Freezing cold, middle of winter outside, but it's absolutely toasty inside. Hot action, fast and furious. And that's the man to beat, Maximilian Levy. Won the flying lap time trial, 12.222 seconds. Then won the sprint. Can he get a hat trick? 3 from 3. Max Dornbach at the top. Gary Beckett holding him up. Yen Singh, 21-year-old from Taiwan, based in Cottbus, so just down the road in Germany. So you expect him to be a real prominent rider in the next several seasons. Thomas Barbeck, 32-year-old from the Czech Republic, World Championship medalist in the kilo and also in the Kieran. He's been good at this before. S.L. Albin, the 18-year-old from India, medalist in the Under-19 World Championships in 3 events last year. There's Max Levy, looking very relaxed. He's also 32 years of age from Berlin. There's Owen Mullen. And Anton Huner, the 19-year-old from Cottbus. Strong rivalry between Berlin, Cottbus and Leipzig. And we've swapped out the Vespa that we've used for the first couple of Kierans. And it's Ron Zeiler on the Derny that's going to be doing the pacemaking. Seven riders all lined up. Anton Huner, he'll be the first rider behind the Derny when it comes through. Last year he won the Under-23 European 1,000-metre time trial championship. Bronze medalist in the Under-19 World Championships in that same event. That was 2 years ago. And you can hear the crowd roar for Max Levy. He really is a favourite here. Levy has been a world champion in the Kieran. Silver medalist at the London Olympic Games in the Kieran as well. So very accomplished in this discipline of track sprinting. I've seen him make a couple of tactical mistakes though. Derny bike will come off with 3 laps to go. And it's a mass sprint, 7 riders. There was a very nasty crash at the London 6-day in the Kieran. So a bit of shoulder-to-shoulder action here. They do need to keep themselves nice and safe. Have to think about the World Championships still to come. Also, the Olympic Games later this year, Max Levy had a terrible crash in London. Well, while Max Levy tries to pump up the crowd, also puts him almost right to the very back. Barbeck now goes into last position. It's Hurnett that leads. Mullen in second place. Albin, teenager from India. He sits there in third. Yen Singh in the middle in fourth place. Then it's Max Levy, Max Dornbach, and Thomas Barbeck at the ends. 44 kilometres per hour at the moment, just slowly building them up to speed. 4 laps to go. The bike will come off the next time around. Albin, the first to jump. The youngster nervously comes up around the outside. Go on board with Owen Mullen. That's Albin just in front of him. The motorbike comes off to the left. Thanks for your efforts, Ron Zylard. And you can see Albin, the first one to go. Thomas Barbeck trying to make a big move from behind. Max Levy and Max Dornbach still left, right at the back of the group. They need to do something, and here they come. It's a big move from Barbeck. He really has gone early. So far from the finish. They'll get the bell when they come through. Max Levy trying to close down Barbeck. He wants to win all 3 of the races here tonight on the big Saturday night in Berlin. So it's Levy now to the back wheel of Barbeck. The 2 32-year-olds and the German sprint champion Dornbach trying to come over the top. But it's Levy all the way. 3 from 3. It's a hat-trick for Ironman Max. Three races, 3 wins. Standing ovation for Iron Max Levy. Almost stealing the show, Thomas Barbeck. He went very early. Huge gap that he opened up. But that was just Max Levy into the slipstream. Mowed down Barbeck, and Dornbach wasn't able to come over the top. Hat-trick to Max on Saturday night in Berlin. Well, 3 from 3. What a great night it's been. It was pumped last night, talking about how he wanted to really show the crowd here in Berlin how fast he is. So Max Levy ahead of Max Dornbach. Thomas Barbeck ahead of Anton Hurnett. Yen Singh, Albin and Mullen 7th place. But those first 3, they were way out in front. So after 3 days for the sprinters, still Levy opening up even more of a lead in terms of the general classification ahead of Maximilian Dornbach, Thomas Barbeck, Anton Hurnett, then it's Yen Singh, Albin and Mullen. So we're halfway through for the sprinters. 151 points to 129. It is reachable, but it's going to be a massive effort from Dornbach to get the better of this man, Maximilian Levy. So as Levy comes off the track, you can see there's Matt Rendell just down there about to have a chat to Ironman Max.
Pretty extreme to beat your poor speed, but you got away with that, and well done.
Well, yeah, it was super hard. You know, I wanted to do something with Max Dornbach, and then he got us a big surprise and a big lesson in watching back. And wow, it was a long way.
Just a few centimeters in it as well. It was very close.
Yeah, it was. With 1 lap to go, I didn't believe I'd make it.
Max, you did. Well done.
Thanks.
clear to see the effort from Max Levy. Wasn't too sure if he was able to get there in the end. It was a maximum performance though. So great sprinting from Ironman Max here on the Saturday night, the Golden Night in Berlin at the 6 days. You can see the riders just rolling around the track, getting ready for the next event to come. That'll be the Madison Chase. That'll wrap up the halfway point though for the elite men. And Barbeck with a massive lead coming into the final lap. Really did look as if, and you can look over the shoulder there, and he must have still been thinking that he'd be able to hold on from that point. Just that closing speed though of Max Levy. Dornbach was glued to the back wheel of Levy, but just the speed into the slipstream, flipped up around the outside. So there was no chance for Dornbach to come over the top, and it was Levy all the way. Good ride for Max Levy. Of course, the World Championships coming up on this track. Only weeks away. Had the World Championships back in 1999 as the qualification for the Sydney 2000 Olympics. And again, with the Olympics in Tokyo later on this year, the World Championships in Berlin will be the qualification, the final way to get yourself into the Tokyo Olympic Games. So 25-minute Madison Chase still to come for the elite men. You can see the riders coming onto the track, getting themselves all pumped and ready. One of the teams that we won't be seeing out there, though, is team number 4, with Kirsten Thiele unfortunately falling ill. So I'm going to have Henning Bommel up here in commentary in just a moment to have a chat. Let's have a look at the overall standings as we go into the final race. Kineski and Reinhardt, Studetinger and Pau in second place. Hester and Wolf, Graf and Muller. They're the 4 teams on the lead lap. And it's Bradbury and Latham, Ruckerbach, Noski, Bergamolza and Finbo in 7th place. But it really is a team race between the top 4. Still getting themselves into formation. Henning Bommel, great to have you up here to talk through the final Madison Chase, but on the other side, well, it's not great to be up here because you're supposed to be in the race. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to be here. As you were saying, it's like it's only the second choice because I would really like to race on a Saturday here in Berlin. I'm from Berlin, so but yeah, Kirsten is sick, so I have the chance to sit with you here on a Saturday since 2006. Since I'm racing in Berlin the 6 days, I have never had this opportunity, so something nice for me.
Here we go, something different. We can see how it goes. Get a bit of commentary involved as well. What it gives, it offers everybody at home though, is some real rider insight as to what's happening and how this race is going to unfold. We've got 4 teams now that are on the lead lap. So it really has become a race as we get to the halfway point of the Berlin 6 day, that there is 4 teams that are in real contention for that final podium.
That's absolutely true. So we only have, it was from the beginning clear that we only have 4 teams here which are really able to win. And from the first day on, they were every race showing that there is no question for such as the Russians. They are also very fast, or like the team from Czech, they have been very good at the second day also. But the big teams, the big 4, like I would say, they are really impressive strong.
Yep. Well, just about to get underway. And we are 25-minute Madison Chase. This will finish things off for the halfway point. Saturday night here in Berlin at the 6-day race. Henning Bommel has joined me, unfortunately, because he should be out there in the race. His teammate Kirsten Thiele unfortunately falling ill. And immediately, 1 lap in and the first attack goes. Now, it's not one of the bigger teams. So in this sort of situation, Henning, we've got Team 24. They're a long way down in the overall classification. So we know those 4 big teams are not going to be too interested in what happens here. So it's a real opportunity to get a lap back.
Yeah, we have, what we will see are 2 fights. We see the fight for the win, but we also see a second fight for the rest of the places, because like this team, they still have the chance to get in front of the other ones to be like 5th at the end, so they are fighting against each other. So that's why you can see now Andreas Müller, he was not interested in chasing, he just was going ground speed, and he's not having any interest in this team number 24.
Change about to be made. Richard Banusch, Sebastian Schmiedl is now the red helmet, comes into the race, and this has been what looks like the fastest lap that we have seen taken in the 3 days of competition. So Schmiedl comes onto the back, and I think that only took them about 1 kilometre, 4 laps or so to get around.
That was a nice one, indeed.
That was what you would call a freebie.
So now it's starting what we see always after an easy lap. Other teams thinking, I can do also the same and get an easy lap in the beginning. So, and that's not always like it's working. So we will see. Next 3 teams on the run.
So 3 teams just off the front. So 1 team on the lead lap now, team number 24. That's Banusch and Schmiedl. Nice little cheeky lap right on the first attack. And it's 3 of the teams that are in the middle of the classification. So again, the top 4 teams not paying too much attention. When you see one of those top 4 teams go on the attack, that's when that encourages the others to start chasing. Another opportunity now for a few teams to try and gain a lap back again.
Exactly. As long as the best teams are not attacking, they will not react. They will let I would call them the small teams just doing their fight, and maybe the big teams will take a rest now on the Saturday evening and just watching the small teams, they're chasing each other.
We can see it here when we talk about those teams trying to get some sort of advantage. The Irish team, they're also a long way down. They see 3 teams that might be on their way to gaining a lap on the field, so a bit of desperation from the Irish to get across there as well to make sure that they too gain a lap. Speed still nice and high though, 64 kilometres per hour for Emilio Cima, team number 11. Josh Harrison, team 12. Just cruising along, so there's no pace at all on in the peloton. So you can almost cross this one off as a lap to be taken. They're only a half a lap ahead, but I can't see them coming back. They're on their way to gain a lap. And the body language here of JB Murphy, tongue hanging out, gasping for air. We talk about it like it's an easy thing to do. Clearly it's not.
No, they are fighting. That is nice, because like if you feel like the Polish, they were having all day problems to close the lap. And one is really strong and the other one is not in the best shape. So if the other recognize, now they are giving them a hard time. So yeah, why not? Small gains during this chase.
Now, I'm going to compliment you on being very diplomatic then. You said the Polish team, one of them is very strong and the other one is in not very good shape at the moment. That's a very political way of saying that he's just not that good. Hopefully, with a bit more training, maybe he will. So the young team from Poland, team number 10, they have had a couple of tough nights. And now, there's the next lap that's been taken.
Now we see on the end of the field, you can see he has to go alone and close alone, and this is costing a lot of energy. Now he's suffering for nothing, because the rest of the group, the other 3 teams, they already got the lap. So that's really unnecessary, but he was not having a chance.
I tell you what, it really is a difficult way to finish off what should have been a fairly comfortable lap taken by team number 10. Now finally the change happens.
What is... I was able to watch the first chase from down, so what is really strange today that we see only big groups of 4 teams, of 5 teams. So this is like, normally, because it's like if it's going another team, so you're not able to get away from the field normally. So, but the ground speed was in the first chase so high that they didn't decide for following, and so yeah, we had the situation.
Well, this is the first of the big teams to go on the attack now, though. So team number 7, they did this in the first Madison Chase of the night as well. Went on the front foot, attacked early, and just kept putting themselves on the lead lap. In the end, it all sort of came together, but that it has caused a reaction. So while team number 7 are about to come around and get to the back of the peloton and go up onto the lead lap, we see just coming through there, team number 1 have already gone on the counter-attack to try and get across there as well.
Yeah, there is one rider I want to point on, and this is Oliver Wolf Fredriksson, the young Danish weapon, I would say. He is unbelievably strong and he's unbelievably fast. His big advantage is he can speed up in a few meters so heavy that nobody can follow. So we saw that in the team elimination, we saw that in the first chase, and we saw it now when he was attacking again and doing a good job for his partner Mark Hester. So he really want to win here.
And while he's unbelievably strong and unbelievably fast, he's unbelievably young at 19. So that's very impressive. Now, they have been able to take a lap, so they put themselves onto the lead lap. That's team number 7. And what we're looking at now is team number 1 desperately making sure that they're not caught out again. So Lignoski from the Czech Republic, Teo Reinhardt about to make the change to Morgan Kneski. So the current World Madison champion changes to the former World Madison champ. And team 7.
Oh, now, nice attack, nice attack. This is team number 15, Andreas Müller. Oh, they are so strong today. They're checking the reaction, and the reaction is coming from the field. The British boys are coming, and another big team, team number 3, was Moreno Depot and Wim Strutinger.
Well, we knew that team 3 would go on the attack as soon as we saw 15 go, because team 1 and team 7, they're out in front. 7 on the lead lap. Team 1 not too far from getting to the back of the field as well. So it is a real chase now at the moment. We've got 2 groups out in front of the peloton. This is the first of them, team 17, but significantly with team number 1, Teo Reinhardt and Morgan Kneski. And that caused a reaction from team 15.
Look at this, look at this. Andrew Tennant is asking for a little bit more speed here in the group.
So Wim Strottinger, he leads team 3. We look towards, these are the leaders on the track at the moment. Team 17 and team 1, just about to come onto the back of the peloton. So the attack and the lap gains by Oliver Wolf and Mark Hester, team number 7, has been neutralised by Teo Reinhardt and Morgan Kneski. Lap gained by team number 1. Now they look back to see where 15 and 3 are. So the 2 Andreases in team 15, desperately now trying to get back to the peloton to get themselves back on that lead lap. There they are, the 3 teams over in the back straight. Team 13 in the middle. That's Tennant and Bostock. They come through in the blue. Marino De Pauw, along with Wim Strottinger, team number 3, and then the 2 Andreases, Graf and Muller, team 15 in 3rd place.
Now, you can see the young British. He's speeding up at the front, and I would say the old guys, the really professional 60 riders, Andreas Müller and Wim Strottinger, they don't like it because they were on a really good high speed. But they don't like peaks if you're on the lap. You don't need peaks. You want a high level racing, but peaks are killing you. But the young ones, he couldn't wait to close the gap. So now I think the next lap is 1.
Well, there's the gap closed. It's Andy Tennant. Jumped out there with Wim Strottinger and also Andreas Graf. So from the, we're on board now with Chris Latham. Right down in amongst the peloton now. There's Andreas Muller on the far right-hand side. So team number 2, Chris Latham, 25-year-old from Bolton. Has been part of the British Team Pursuit squad. Pretty handy on the domestic road scene as well in the UK. And you can see a change there about to happen, so he decelerates, and Stephen Bradbury, his teammate, now comes into the race for team number 2. There he is on the front. So off that change to Chris Latham, you saw the acceleration came, and Stephen Bradbury went straight over the top for a change and an attack, and that has taken the Aussies with them as well.
Yeah, Stephen Bradbury is having a very, very good shape here in Berlin. We were racing together 2 weeks ago in Bremen. So he was like, I would say, still in the process. But here with Lassop, he's showing his best side. So nice attack with the Australians together. And Stephen Hall, he was suffering 2 days, but today he's looking really strong. And his partner, generally Josh Harrison, sorry, he's really strong. Now you will see when he's coming to the front, he will speed up a bit. Now it's time for him.
So Chris Latham, this is on the attack, trying to gain a lap. Just popped in behind Josh Harrison, who you just mentioned. So I'm sitting here with Henning Bommel, team number 4, unfortunately not in the race because his teammate Kirsten Thiele has fallen ill with fever. Hopefully he can come back tomorrow and continue racing. So Henning Bommel able to do the individual races, but not the team events like this Madison. So to our advantage, he can give us some insight into how the riders have been
I give you insight, Scott. Yeah. Have you seen what I said? Josh Harrison was not changing. He was closing 2 or 3 laps from the front, and he was not changing anymore with the British team because he said, I can do this. Just hold my wheel, huh? That's a sign.
Well, Matt Bostock now.
And 2 big teams.
Okay, well, this will change things. So it's 39 laps to go. We're into the laps. Forget about the time now. It's all about how many laps to go. We'll have intermediate sprints all the way through into the finish. And this move from Team 13, they have already taken a lap on the field.
Yeah.
Gone on the attack once more. But look at the 2 teams that have come in behind. Team 3 and Team 15. They were caught out behind. They were chasing to get back onto the lead lap. Now they want to be the first to do the next lap. So 3 teams out in front. Andreas Graf, he's on the front of the grid there, 148, 151 beats per minute. That'll continue to rise, as will the speed. The average speed, just over 60 kilometres per hour. So we'll look for a reaction perhaps from Team 7 and probably team number 1 as well, Taya Reinhardt. There's Morgan Kineski's teammate. But the Madison World Champ, he's won the last 2 years, Taya Reinhardt. How have you seen him in the race itself? How has Tayo's form been?
His form, I think he's in a really, really good timing for the Worlds, which are held here in 4 weeks. So it can only be like a preparation race. But now we have to watch on the track. What is going on here?
Well, I said with 2 of the big teams out in front.
Racing is on. And this is my guy, what I told you. Look at the Danish rocket. He's destroying the field.
So Oliver Wolf from Denmark, team number 7. And you can see it was a really soft change. So Oliver Wolf went on the attack to try and split the field. And as they got caught, he changed to Mark Hester, but it wasn't a big effort. He just really backed off in the change because he wasn't too happy that Team 1 came out after them.
Yeah.
Happy to do the work, but not for the opposition. So still 3 teams out in front, including on the sprint lap. So we're hit now, 31 laps to go. And it's Andreas Muller, Andreas Graf in second position. Marino Tapau. They're not worried too much about the points on offer. They're trying to just make sure they get the lap. That's why they're out there trying to put in this big effort. Marino Tapau picks up the 5 points. And Team 17, they'll pick up the last point that's on offer for 4th place. But the peloton speed has come right off the game. This has become a real battle between 7 and Team 1.
Look, Scotty, what is going on?
So 3 teams out in front, but back on the main field, there has been an attack from Oliver Wolf. There's confirmation from the sprints, Team 3, 15, 13, and 7. So Struttinger and Tapau, they do set themselves up. If they can gain this lap, get back onto the lead lap, then they will have a really good opportunity to come away with this Madison win. But it's Oliver Wolf. You've got big raps on this young man, the 19-year-old from Denmark, and he's really throwing it to team number 1, Taya Reinhardt.
That was a change. That was a change. Exactly what you missed before. The effort they were doing now with the hand sling.
You can see the body language of Mark Hester.
Yeah, unbelievable. He wanted to go now. And he's going. Look at this. He's speeding up. And you can see Moreno Depot was watching. What is going on the other side? We are going and going and going and still a half lap to go. And now it's coming from the back, the Danish team. So
still trying to fight to get to the back of the peloton, the three teams in front. This is the team that's on the chase. Team number 7 have come out of the peloton with incredible speed, Mark Hester and Oliver Wolf. It will cause a reaction from team number 1. They have to try and chase team 7 down. Change now from Wim Strottinger and Marino de Pauw. So finally, it was a hard-fought lap, but those three teams, team 15, 13 and team 3, finally get themselves back onto the lead lap. And this is Hester and Wolf, team number 7, all on their own. This is the 19-year-old, changing to the veteran Mark Hester. It has caused a reaction out of the peloton from team number 1. This is the group now chasing team 7. Hester down the back straight.
They are fast. They are fast.
So 4 teams on the lead lap. Significantly, team 3 and team 15 from the overall classification. They are there. Team 7 trying to get there. They're not going to be far from getting to the back of the peloton. But it has caused a reaction from team number 1, Taya Reinhardt and Morgan Koneskity. These are the guys now chasing.
Strottinger crossed the line. He was not expecting that the Danish are already so close behind the bunch.
So Morgan Koneskity, they're also joined by German combination. So German team, Augenstein and Weisfenning. So there's team 7, gets to the back of the peloton. It took them a while. It was an incredible acceleration out of the field, but the speed of the peloton was so high. It did take a little while for team 7 to get around and get a lap. Now the leader's on the track. Team number 1, but they have to fight hard because they are not on the lead lap just yet. 5 teams on 0. Team number 1 is the next team that's trying to get to the back of the peloton, put themselves also up there in contention. 16 laps remain.
And what you saw now with the Danish team is what I was telling you exactly at the beginning. They don't want to let any doubts that they can win this. This was like showing. You saw the other big teams, it was taking like an eternity to do the lap, and they were just like attacking, speed up and doing the lap by themselves without any help from any other teams.
And that is interesting that they did it on their own, and it's a show of strength, isn't it? A demonstration to all the others that if you think you're here to win, well, we're strong enough to take laps alone. We don't need any help, so you're going to have to beat us, and that's going to be a hard thing to do. So Team 1, they have been able to get themselves around as well. So the riders, the teams that are going for the overall classification at the top of the table, the top 4 teams, so status quo, they've got themselves back onto the lead lap. So Chris Latham again on board with him, sitting in 3rd position.
So Scott, let me point on one thing before we can go to the final 10 laps. So we have 2 fights, that's what I was telling you, and the team was Moritz Augenstein and Nils Weisfennig. They are also on 0, so they will step up in the general classification to place 5 or 6 after this chase, and this is like for the young 19 years old Nils Weisfennig, like a really good one. They made the lap, they went 2 laps in this chase, and together with team number 1 was Knajski and Reinhardt. So that's what I was telling. And the Russian and the Czech guys, they couldn't do anything, but they had to, but they couldn't.
They wanted to, but they weren't able to come through. Wim Strottinger leads down the back straight. They come around to get 10 laps to go. 1 more sprint. Morgan Konajski out of the saddle, so this is significant. They were chasing quite a bit before. They've got themselves up into a position where they can go for the win. And the former world champion, he won it 3 times in the past. Big attack from him. It's Wim Strottinger, team 3, into the final 10 laps now. And we saw a big show of strength from team number 7 from Denmark. Likewise, this is now coming from the former world champion, Morgan Konajski.
But what I always like is the way how Wim Struttinger and Moreno de Boer, how they are riding. They are not showing that they are strong. They're just like in touch always. And they will wait until Tuesday.
Keeping themselves in contention. Team number 3. For now, though, it's the current world champ, Theo Reinhardt. He's been on fire tonight. They won the first Madison tonight. He then went on to win the Derny as well. And they're looking to try and go with another win here in the final Madison chase over 25 minutes to finish things off here. This will get them to the halfway point of the Berlin 6-day. So Team 1 out in front going really hard. Team 3 on the front of the peloton, not asking for any assistance, also going really hard. Where's Team 7? Where's 15? They're sitting back in the wheels, recovering a little bit, getting ready for the final sprint. 5 laps to go, double points on the final sprint, 10, 6, 4 and 2. So Team 3, they are the virtual leaders coming into this final sprint. They did win the first intermediate sprint. 5 points they have. They are leading. They need to try and get some points.
You cannot see this on the television because in the back it's so fast when you have to go in the back that there are happening a lot of mistakes with the changes. It's really dangerous.
Well, a big move now comes from the Austrians. Theo Reinhardt out of the saddle.
3 laps to go.
He's been shut down by Andreas Graf. On the wheel he has Mark Hester. So this has been a big battle between the top 4 teams. It was Team 1 versus Team 3. It's now been taken over by 15 and 7. Team 13 also coming to the front to join 2 of the top teams. 2 laps to go. And Andreas Graf trying to get the final 10 points on offer. Oliver Wolf will come in to do the final sprint though with Mark Hester. 1 lap to go now. Andreas Muller comes in to take the final sprint. Oliver Wolf, though, the youngster from Denmark, he'll do the final sprint down the back straight, and it's Oliver Wolf over the top of Andreas Muller. Wolf versus Muller, Denmark versus Austria, and it's Denmark that comes away with the win. 10 points to team number 7. And we'll just wait for final classification because Team 3 did pick up some points in that final sprint as well. So they had 5 points coming into the final sprint. They finished 4 points for them. So that'll take them to 9. Team 7 will come away with the win. So 10 points in the final sprint. What a sprint it was from Oliver Wolf. And you were talking about the acceleration of Oliver. Talk us through this.
I'm just having a smile on my face because I love to see how he's racing. He's really aggressive. He just wants the win. He wants the points every time. So he's like having so much energy and he's so fast. And I'm really asking who can beat this team, who can beat this guy here in Berlin this year.
He's only 19. It'll be extraordinary if he can come away with a win in the Berlin 6 days so early in his career. But he is ahead of his years. 10 points on the final sprint. Oliver Wolf and Mark Hester. Wow, what a great show of strength and speed it was. Hester and Wolf, 10 points at that final sprint. It was enough to get over the top of Graf and Muller, Bostock and Tennant, Vince Trottinger and Marino de Pau. And Stephen Bradbury, Chris Latham. Good ride by them to finish in 5th place. Interesting to see team number 1 right down there in 6th. That's unusual for them. As we go further down the results, all the other teams 1 lap behind. So 15th place right down to the very end. JB Murphy and Mark Ports, the Irish. What a great result it was though for team number 7. They really have sent a clear message to all of the other riders.
Oliver, Mark, well, congratulating each other and well deserved. I tell you what, Team 3 looked good to win that, then 1 looked good to win it, then it seemed to go in favour of 15, and then you popped up and did the perfect job there. Great little sprint, Oliver.
Yeah, it was a tough chase, but both Mark and I had good legs, and we went for the final lap to be able to sprint for the win, and we took that alone, so I'm pretty happy that we were able to do that.
I bet you are, and Mark, you've looked all week to be one of the 2 or 3 strongest riders here. Finally, you've got that Madison win. That must give you some confidence for the days to come.
Yeah, of course. We've been trying and this is our first team win on day 3. So it was a long and hard fight, but now we got it, and now we have to look towards the general classification and the other 3 teams. It's a very tough field here. So
lots more to come. Congratulations to both of you.
Well, it was a dominant performance. It was a clear message. We've had 3 nights of racing now. This gets us to the halfway point. And Henning, team number 7, that was a serious message delivered to all of the other teams. It still has Konieczny and Reinhardt in the overall lead ahead of Strontinger and De Pauw. But Mark Hester and Oliver Wolf, that was a very dominant show of strength.
Absolutely. So that's, I just can repeat my question. Who's able to win? So we have 3 days to go, halftime, and I was expecting, like I told you before, 4 teams are only able to win, but it's still heavy to say, because like we have the team with Konieczny and Reinhardt. They are in total, they have been 5 times Madison World Champion. So we have like Andreas Müller, Andreas Graf, they are really, really fast. And also in this sprint, I was not expecting that they are going into a sprint decision like that. We have this really clever riding, Wim Soetinger and Moreno Depot. So, tell me, I don't know.
Too early to say. Only halfway into the Berlin 6 day. And Oliver Wolf, could it be possible for a 19-year-old to come away with the overall win at the Berlin 6 day? Well, he's riding like a champion, certainly riding like a winner, and along with the veteran, experienced Mark Hester, combining very well together. Part number 2, team number 7, certainly were very strong here tonight.
You were telling already 3 times that he's only 19, and this can also be like maybe a problem, because like with the gear over 6 days, you know, this is like really different from riding in the juniors or riding in the development races. So to have the legs for the last hour on Tuesday, this is already something else.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if he is strong enough to get all the way through. He's super fast. We can see how the race was done. 184 beats per minute with the higher heart rate with the older of the 2 riders. So what a great atmosphere it's been here. The Golden Knights in Berlin. And perhaps a new superstar has emerged within the 6-day scene. Oliver Wolf, he's been on the podium already in the 6-day season here in Europe. And at the halfway point, sitting in 3rd place overall behind Morgan Konieczny and Theo Reinhardt. We were talking about his acceleration, and this is how he closed it down at the end. Once he got to this position, Oliver Wolf, so fast, and 19 years of age versus the veteran in Andreas Müller. Mully has never been super fast, crafty, that's for sure, but he wasn't going to have the speed to try and hold off Oliver Wolf. And he does it with such composure. It doesn't even look as if it was too much of an effort there for Oliver.
All set, I would say.
So a reminder of where things are. We have reached halfway at the Berlin 6 day. Morgan Konieczny and Theo Reinhardt on 263 points. Only 1 point ahead of team 3. Mark Hester with Oliver Wolf sitting in 3rd place. That was a really strong performance from them. Team 15 also looking in very, very good position as well. Matt Rendell, though, is with Theo Reinhardt, the Madison World Champion. Lost a couple of points then, but he's certainly
With
on.
the man of the moment, Theo Reinhardt. Theo, you're still leading by 1 point, and that's clearly from Moreno De Pauw and Wim Stroetinger, and then in 3rd place, Team 7, the winners of that Madison, they're just 6 points back, so it's very, very tight at the top.
Yeah, it's very tight, but we have a very good evening on Saturday. The hall give us a little bit extra energy, and yeah, we have a very good evening, and it's nice to stay on the top now.
And I can see how every race you've won here, we've been able to see the emotion and just how much it means to you to win here in Berlin. So these are races that you really want to win, not just for this event, but also for the World Championships that are just weeks away.
Yeah, of course I want to win the 6 days in Berlin. It's my home 6 days, and the World's also, it's a big season, so big goals, but yeah, we will see.
And you and Morgan combining very well. As I say, teams breathing down your neck. For the time being, you're still up top. You had that big push yesterday. You won the first Madison tonight, and then you just seem to come off the boil a little bit. How are you going to pick it up again for the days to come?
Yeah, I don't know. No, now we enjoying this evening, and we will talk tomorrow how we make. Yeah, I have to go, I think.
Okay, you've got to go. Okay, thank you so much, Theo.
Off to the presentation for Theo Reinhardt with Morgan Kniaski as the overall classification leaders at the halfway point of the Berlin Six-Day. Had a fantastic start. It was only really just at the very end of that final Madison chase where they fell behind a little bit, didn't pick up any points in the final sprint, and that dropped them down the classification of that particular Madison. And that has allowed team number 3 to move up to only 1 point behind. So very close between the top teams. As we heard from Henning Bommel, too early to tell. Definitely between the top 4 teams, but they've all had moments of brilliance. Morgan Kniaski and Theo Reinhardt in the right position for now, but only that tender 1 point lead over Wim Strutenaar and Marino de Paul. Team number 7 sitting in 3rd place overall. Team 15, the Austrians, just a little bit further behind, but still on that lead lap. So 4 teams definitely in top contention. You can hear the enthusiasm in the voice of Henning Bommel whenever Oliver Wolf did anything on the track tonight. He's very impressed by the 19-year-old from Denmark. Still the beers are flowing here in Berlin though. 3 nights of competition to come. We'll see if those young legs of Oliver Wolf can hold on all the way to the very end. We know Theo Reinhardt, who won here last year, the defending champion. And this is how... So the first Madison chase was won by Kniaski and Reinhardt. Theo went on to win the Derny as well, so strong performance from Theo to start the night. Team elimination, that went to team 3, Brian Buslayer. He was up there in the points race. And then Andreas Muller, he picked up the second of the Derny races. So that was a good ride by him. But what a performance it was by Mark Hester and Oliver Wolf. Team number 7 winning the final Madison chase. And Wim Strutenaar, he's fighting for the overall classification.
Wim Strutenaar, well, congratulations on a very good day. You came out of Bremen just a little bit ill. No one would believe it because you're riding like a bull here. Real strength and speed.
Yeah. I would not say I was really ill, but just didn't felt really good. But yeah, over here it's going okay. Not super, but we're still close. 1 point is almost the same as leading.
And that final Madison of the evening with 10 laps to go, you moved to the front just to close down teams 1 and 7, and it looked good for you for a moment. But man, team 7 suddenly seemed to be getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, it was also a smart moment for them because Theo went and we wanted to close that because yeah, we were a bit behind with the points and we closed that, and of course team 7 went.
And Moreno just seeming to get stronger and stronger, and you two, one of the 2 or 3 fastest riders in the sprints here. You seem to have everything, but there's still a long time to go, and you must start to be feeling the fatigue at this point in the 6th day.
Yeah, well, it's still 3 days to go, so we're not really looking ahead already. We just see it day by day, and I don't think it's time for Moreno to stop already because he's doing so good.
That's what we all think, Wim. On that note, we'll leave you the very best of luck for the days to come. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Very much still in the fight, only 1 point off the lead.
But did sound a little bit rattled from team number 7, the way they finished off tonight. So as we go into the next night of competition, onto the Sunday, we start a little bit earlier, finish earlier as well. Women's sprinters will coming out for the first time, flying 250-metre time trial. Then it's a 30-minute Madison Chase for the men's sprinters, the male this time doing their lap time trial. The Dernies sprints for the ladies, points races as we've seen already. So a real mixed bag to the elite women from the endurance, not on the program as they've wrapped things up tonight. It's the women's sprinters that'll be on show tomorrow. Team elimination at the bottom there for the elite men. Before we go across to the women's sprint Kirin final. So great to have the ladies, the fast ladies on the track tomorrow. And then a 45-minute Madison Chase. That is significantly the longest Madison Chase that we've had so far. That'll wrap things up for the 4th night here at the Berlin 6-day. You can see the Steyr race that's coming on to finish things off for the racing here. Very traditional event that happens here at the Berlin 6-day. And the big motos coming around the track here in Berlin.
Well, what a fabulous Burns Night celebration here in the Berlin 6. The best Scottish rider here, undoubtedly Katie Archbold. An outstanding evening. She won the 2 races she entered this season, this evening. And as for the rest of them, team number 1, Morgan Koneski and Theo Reinhardt still lead, but just by 1 point. In fact, there are 3 teams within 6 points at the end of the evening. It couldn't be any closer. And I've got with me half of the leading combination, Morgan Koneski. Morgan, congratulations on a real hard evening's racing. You're still in the lead, but by the tiniest margin.
We are still, I don't know how is it about the lead.
It's just 1 point. You're at the top with team number 3 1 point behind you, and team number 7, who seem to be getting better and better, 6 points down. So it's very close at the top.
Yeah, it's really close. So we need to take each point we can do. So it's a really big fight. It was a really big fight tonight. So we are happy because we are on the podium and we comfort. We comfort it. So that was the job today. And tomorrow it's an evening session, not an afternoon session. That will be hard after our night.
And tell me, at this point in a 6-day, are you looking ahead or are you just taking one event at a time?
We're looking for event by event. So we're looking for the strongest team and try to keep the closer point we can do. And after, if we can win 2 races and make, more points, that's good. But the job is stay with the best team.
And well, no, your English is wonderful, and still combining very well with Theo, and we can see just how much it means to him to be here in his home city, winning races. That gives him something extra, and I guess that gives you something extra too.
Yes, it's really special for me to ride with Theo because he is double world champion, and it's a real pleasure to be with the men of Berlin. So I really enjoyed the race, and the public is there. It's a really great race, and we enjoy it.
And I can say one thing, the communication in here is almost impossible because the noise and the whistling, a wonderful atmosphere. Where does this incredible structure stand in all the velodromes that you've ridden in?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat?
What do you think of this incredible velodrome here in Berlin?
I saw many 6-day in Europe, so Berlin, it was one of the best of the Europe. It's always incredible. Each night it's better and better, and I can't wait to see how will be the final day.
Wonderful. Well, there's all sorts of noise going around us because there are the stayers bikes on the track now. There's great big motorbikes generating a lot of noise. But you've just come out of the final Madison of the day. You won the first one. You came very, very close to winning that second one. And we've decided it's going to be the race of the day for us, the best race of the evening. Just pipped at the post. But as I say, the main thing is you're still leading. You're 1 point ahead. And we're going to take a look now at the highlights of the race of the day, the final Madison of day 3.
5 laps this time when they come around. Matt, looking at the body language, who do you think looks strong?
Power looks good. I think Muller looks like his legs are about to fall off, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see if he can hold on here.
Well, I hope they don't. There'll be carnage on the track if his legs fall off. But it's Muller that leads through, the veteran. He needs the points for the overall classification. As close as he can get to the fender of Ron Zylar. They'll come around for 3 laps to go now. Oliver Wolf has come to the back wheel of Marino Depot. And maximum speed coming from the teenager from Denmark. Once again out of the saddle. 2 laps to go, coming from 1.5 now. Andreas Muller still leads. Oliver Wolf, par number 2, team number 7 in the second position. Marino Depot looks as if he was ready to pounce, but he's just started to ease off. Muller trying to hold on. This is the last lap down the back straight. Oliver Wolf coming up around the outside. Marino Depot is out of contention now. Muller versus Wolf. And the veteran, the Berliner. Forget about the fact that he races for Austria now. Let's just think of him as a rider from Berlin. This is where he was born. And in front of a home crowd, Andreas Muller, he went early, he went long, and he just held on to get the win.
Well, it certainly was a fantastic third night of competition, the golden night here at the Berlin Six-Day, and that, of course, was the Dirty race, won by this man, Andreas Muller, the grandfather, we heard tonight, the grandfather of the Six-Days. What does it feel like to be the old man, but you're still winning, so you're not that old?
No, actually, I like it. He's a grandfather of the Six-Day business. Never thought that I will stay such long in the business, but now it is like that, and I enjoy it.
You're part of Team 15, the 2 Andreases, of course, Andreas Graf and Andreas Muller. 4 teams that are really in contention now, that have separated themselves from everybody else. It's too early to tell. We're only halfway through the 6-day, and there are still 4 teams in contention. How do you feel? Do you feel that you can go for the overall win?
Actually, pretty good. Last year, I was suffering a lot of here at the race, to be honest. But this year, I think we have really good legs to Andreas. And I think the teams are really equal. So it will be really, really interesting.
Well, we saw Oliver Wolf tonight really strong with Mark Hester. They finished off very well in the last Madison chase. This young kid from Denmark, he's only 19, but he's incredibly fast. Could he surely win this race? He's only 19.
Yeah, but he's so talented. I first time saw him last year here in Six-Day Copenhagen, paired with Murkoff, and incredible. So we thought maybe after day 2 he will get slower, but he never gets slowed down. And so for sure, yeah, he's one of the most talented riders in the peloton, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, congratulations to you. The 20th time he's been at this particular race. Born in Berlin, but you ride for Austria, so you'd love to come back here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, I live 1K close to the velodrome, and it's just my home track. I like it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let's have a look. We have got to the halfway point now of the Berlin Six-Day. 3 massive nights to come, so we can have a look at what's coming up for the 4th night of racing. We've had the elite women's endurance riders. They've now finished their competition. We're going to the women's sprinters tomorrow night. They kick off the proceedings on the 4th night. 30-minute Madison chase for the elite men. And then the big sprinters back again as well. We'll see Max Levy trying to extend his lead in the overall classification. Female sprinters, endurance riders doing their intermediate races as well. Another team elimination for the elite men towards the end of the program. And of course, we'll see the Kirin come out. This time it'll be for the women doing their Kirin race as well. And interestingly, the big closer on the 4th night is going to be the 45-minute Madison chase. So this is significantly the longest that we have seen so far, and it's going to be brutal to finish off with a 45-minute race. We've had 30 minutes, we've had 35, but this is going to be really significant. The riders are getting tired. They're going to finish off the fourth night with the longest race that they've had. I wish you good luck coming into the fourth night, Andreas. Maybe you can come away with the victory. We'll wait and see. It's all to come. We go into the fourth night, the second half of the 6-day here in Berlin. Make sure you tune in to join us.